Oh, I jumped to Venus. Okay, so.
那么太阳和这个，因为和水星的星座是一样的，所以它们有很多类似的，所以我不会重复一些东西。
Okay, well, we did the moon, we did Mercury. We'll go back to Venus. We'll set up for Venus. We'll do that. And Venus, I got to do it a little faster, but we have Venus in Virgo.
那么我们先说那个金星啊，因为这个教先生就是这样安排的，金星在这个处女座。
In House 3.
那么在三宫。
So, House 3 wants to communicate and teach and express itself.
那么三宫喜欢去学习，喜欢去教学，喜欢去表达。
Venus wants to be listened to.
那么金星想要去被别人倾听。
But she's very picky and fussy.
那么但是呢，他有一些挑剔和这个他有一些挑剔和完美，追求完美。
So if she was going to be the critique for music or a restaurant, this is good food, this is bad food, this is good music, this is bad music, she would be very good.
那么如果他是一个这个餐厅的一个评论员，或者是说是一个音乐的评论家，或者写一些影评的话，那么会是非常棒的一个评论家。
Usually this would be criticizing the husband, this is good, this is not good, this could be better.
那么通常呢，就会演化为就是批评那个老公，你看这个做的不好，那个做不好，那个做的不好。
That's not exactly what I want. Move over 2 inches, please.
这不是我这个想要的，请你移开2公分好吗？
So, Venus is what you want, your values. How beautiful do you think you are? What's going to make you happy? What's going to satisfy you?
那么金星呢，就是你自己感受自己的美，自己对自己价值的感觉，你对自己有多么满意，你觉得自己的价值是什么？
It's in Virgo. It's momentum towards belonging. I want to belong.
那么它是在处女座，那么它是倾向于去归属的，也是倾向于归属的。
I want to appreciate belong, but I have my way of what I want.
那么我想要去归属，但是我有自己的这个方式。
And I'll tell you exactly what it is.
我会告诉你，我自己的方式，精准的方式是什么。
No, it's not exactly that. You didn't get it. It's got to be like this.
那你并没有理解我想要的那个，我精确的想要的那个东西就是那个。
So he probably wouldn't want to cook because if he tried to cook, it would never be good enough.
那么你的另一半可能他最好不要去做这个厨师。如果他去烧饭的话，你可能会觉得这个菜永远没有这么好的，这口味没有这么好。
Because her taste, but she wants to belong, but she has her own taste. I want to belong in this style, in this one. You want to be with me? It's this way.
因为这就是他的这个品味，他选择的品味是非常有选择性的。也就是说，我想要去归属，但是我归属的这个东西是我选择的这个独特的品味。
I knew one lady in Canada. Her parents, they divided the house. They had blue rooms and pink rooms, and the father was only allowed in the blue rooms.
那么就是我认识一个加拿大认识一个女人，他们把房间分成了这个不同的区块。那么有一些房间呢是绿色，有一些房间是粉红色的。男人只允许进入绿色的房间。
He couldn't go in the living room. He couldn't go here. He couldn't go in the kitchen. He had to go to the bathroom in the basement.
他不能进入这个区域，不能进入这个餐厅。他上厕所的话，只能到地下室的厕所去上厕所。
He wasn't allowed to pick up anything. He couldn't walk in the kitchen. He couldn't do anything.
他不能去进入这个厨房的领地，他不能做这些事情那些事情。
I told him he should write a book so we could all learn how to do that.
我跟他说，你需要写一本书，这样我们都会学会该怎么做。
But the girls were doing everything.
那么这个女性呢，这个她做了所有的事情。
So it's your taste, it's your style. He's not going to be able to put anything up on the wall of her house.
Sorry.
If he buys a painting, he wants to put something up on the wall. It's not going to get on the wall.
那么这就是关于你的品味，关于你独特的品味。如果他喜欢一幅画，那么他喜欢的这个画永远不可能挂在你们的客厅上，你们家里的客厅上。
He's going to have to go through the taste judge.
那么他必须要通过你的这个品味的这个评论和判断以后才通过。
And she's not going to want a wrestling match on the wall, or she's not going to want a car on the wall, or it's got to be something elegant.
那么你可能不会想要在这个墙上贴着一幅画，这个画是一个汽车或者什么，你希望一个优雅的东西。
So you're working through this. You could be thinking, this is a Virgo, this is in the 30. You could be thinking that, but you're working through one step at a time. So then The day moving towards responsibility, wanting more independence. We're doing this. I want my own room. Like.
那么，这个就是在处女座是在夏天，所以呢，它是夜光增长的，然后这个日长比夜昼多。那么，所以呢，它也是倾向于责任感和这个归属的。
Can you imagine how difficult it would be to share a car with her?
那么，你可以想象说，跟他分享拥有一辆车是多么困难的事情吗？
Who drives it when?
那么谁在什么时候分别可以去开车呢？
It's my turn. I need it now. I'm doing it now, not now. What do you mean not now?
那么这是我该开车的时间了啊，这个车应该给我开了，什么意思？我还没开完呢。那这个还是我还没开完这辆车呢，这个应该是我开的。
So I'm seeing this moving towards responsibility, wanting more independence. Venus is in the 3rd house. So think traveling, communication. Venus is there. What about a car? It's got to be this specific way. Don't bring your dirty feet into the car. It's going to has to be a special way.
那么这就是但是这里面呢还是有一个趋向于说独立的能量，所以呢这就是我要的一个方法，我自己的独特的品味。比如说他的金星处女是在3宫的话呢，他是会倾向于是说表达去旅游，然后如果你有车的话呢，你也会希望说用自己的方式去搭理这个车，你的臭脚不能踩进这个车里。
So the husband gonna think this is the special way. He's gonna buy her a car so he can have his own.
所以你的这个老公可能也会受不了，所以他就会自己去买一辆车，你们两个分开驾驶。
And then she won't let him drive it.
那么接下来你就不会让他去开车了。
So okay, this is the Venus. It's reflective. It's measuring things. This isn't good enough. This is nice. This is not. Like it's an earth sign. It's comfortable. This is beautiful. This is natural. I want to be healthy. I want to be healthier. I don't want to have that thing in my car. I don't want to have dirt here. I don't want to have this here.
那么这就是一个就是反射的能量，阴性的能量，所以它会去衡量很多事情。哎，这是美吗？这是我想要的吗？那么它也是图像的，所以它会去考虑，是说我想要是非常健康的，我想要美丽的一个表达。
So being that fuzzy, does that mean she's hard to please?
那么他这样子挑剔是大家会认为他是非常难去伺候的一个人吗？
So this is like it's different how you're seeing yourself, and then you see it with someone else. You start, you get another picture of it. This stretches the way you see it.
那么当我们看到别人拥有这个能量的时候，跟我们自己拥有这个能量的时候是不一样的。那么别人身上这个能量可以让我们去很好的去理解它。
But it's adaptable. It's critical. It's adaptable. The mutable signs I call manipulative, perceptive.
那么它是一个这个变动星座，我会把它叫做就是有控制欲的这个想法。
They can perceive what other people are doing.
他会观察别人想的是什么。
And they can manipulate them to get what they want.
他们可以去但是他们可以去摆弄它或者玩弄它，去获得自己想要的东西。
So many mutable signs, or mutable people with mutable signs, can finish people's sentences for them.
那么很多变动星座呢，可以去完成别人说的句子，就是他说了一半，他就会接下来。
Now Capricorns and Aquarians don't like that.
那么就是摩羯座和这个摩羯座和水瓶座可不喜欢那样。
Just listen, don't finish my sentence.
你只要听我说话就好了，可不要去抢我的话。
So okay, that's the mutable. So what do I want? It's this. Oh no, there's something wrong with this. I need a better one than this. This is just a cheap iPad. I want the iPad 6.
那么这个是更好看的，这个是我想要的，这个是更好的。我想要一个，这是一个便宜的 iPad， 我想要一个 iPhone 6。
So what's ever good enough? You don't buy her clothes.
那么什么是更好的呢？你千万不要去为她买衣服。
It would never be good enough. You give her money, let her buy her own, but don't buy her clothes.
那么你给她买衣服的话，永远不会买得够好的。你只要给她钱就可以让她自己去买。
Even if you cook for her, she's fussy.
甚至是你为她去这个做菜的话，她也会有很多挑剔的。
It's just she's always been that way. It's normal for her.
那么她就是这样的，这对她来说是很普通的一个能量。
Nothing wrong with it. It's just funny when you talk about it, because there's 11 other ways that Venus can be.
那么这并没有错，就是好像谈论这个的时候会比较有趣。那么其他12个金星星座也是一样的。
So then it's Earth practical, materialistic, tactile.
那 那么就是土象呢，那么就是实际的和这个非常注重这个物质的。
She knows what's comfortable. This is nice. This is elegant. This is comfortable.
他知道什么让他舒适，这是什么是比较让他看得上眼的。
But Venus will always try and seduce Mercury. When Venus wants something, it gets Mercury going. So if Venus doesn't like something, her Mercury is going to get mad.
那么金星总是会影响水星的。金星如果他不喜欢某个东西的时候，那么他的水星就会生气。
But the Venus in Earth signs, it likes to be touched, hugged. If you're having an argument and you touch her, she won't argue.
那么，因为他的金星是在土象的，土象的喜欢拥抱，或者是你去跟他接触，所以当你们有争执的时候，如果你给他一个拥抱，或者是你去接触他，他不会跟你再有争执。
But if you bring crumbs in the bed, or spill a bottle of pop in her car, it'll be a long time before she forgets.
那么如果你把这个吃的东西带上床，或者是说你在这个车上打翻了一罐饮料的话，那么他会记恨很久。
So what happens? Here's your car. Okay, I'll take my car. I'll meet you there. Let's take the same car. No, I'll meet you there.
如果我们一起乘一辆车，那你还不如说不，我们分开走吧。
It's silly, it's fun, but it would happen that way.
那么这就是我生活中比较有趣的这个演化。
Who wants to go everywhere with a critic?
谁想跟一个一直会批评的人在一起呢？
At the same time, that criticalness makes everything beautiful, makes it very elegant, has a very nice way of looking at things.
但是正是那个批评的声音呢，会让生命有的时候也会让这个生活变得更加美好，更加完美。
And she's pretty practical. You wouldn't win an argument with her on it.
那么它是非常实际的，但是你不要想去就是跟他去赢得争辩。
She knows what she likes, why this is good, this is not good. You're not going to see her wearing polyester. This is 100% cotton girl.
Cotton.
Yeah, wear nice clothes, good clothes, not artificial, not synthetic clothes. You don't wear that.
那么就是他是一个非常实际的人，你别想要去跟他赢得争论。那么他知道什么是好的，什么是他喜欢的，什么是他看得上眼的，什么是有品味的。那么这也是一个老师说 cotton girl， 就是穿着那些就是好的材质衣服的人。
It's Venus and Virgo. It's body shop. It's special oils. It's not just anything.
那么他就会去买那些body shop 的那些特别的这个身体打理油，而不是一般的这个化妆品。
Why? It's nice. It's expensive. Oh, it's nice.
这是很贵的，但是这是很美好的，我觉得。
Okay, so that's her style.
那么这就是他的方式，就是他的那些表现。
You think she could put up with a poor worker working in the farm or working in the sewers?
那么你们认为
Do you think she could live with someone working in the sewers or working in the rice paddies?
你们认为他能够跟这个就是农村来的或者是农民打交道吗？住在一起吗？
She'd be wanting to take a bath as soon as she got home, take a shower here, they'd be clean here. It's got to be nice. It's not wrong. No, it's just it's a stuff. Her Venus wants things to be clean, nice, Virgo-like, perfect. There's not much tolerance for anything less than. If you can make it perfect, why wouldn't you?
那么他的这个金星处女呢，是希望他希望享受这些完美的、美丽的，或者是说美好的东西。如果你能够让这个事情变得完美，为什么要忍耐和容忍那些不完美的东西呢？
That's a long way away from going to a restaurant and the husband just wants to watch the sports thing, have a drink. Hey, there's a drink. Let's do this. And where's the style?
那么，如果他的这个老公只是说整天就是看电视啊，或者说吃饭的时候看电视啊，然后就喝啤酒，那么他的这个生活的这种调在哪？调性在哪呢
？In a restaurant, she's going to be very fussy about what she wants.
那么在餐厅里面呢，他会对自己想要的东西非常的这个讲究。
I'm not going to that restaurant. I'm not going there. It's got to be here. Like for me, Shanghai has been the nicest surprise. The food has been so incredible.
那么，他就会说，我想要到这个餐厅去，我想要到那个餐厅我可不想去。他非常有这个主见，就好像说，对我来说，上海的餐厅是非常让我大开眼界的。
I'm vegetarian, vegan. I don't eat meat. I didn't think there would be much, but places that are here are just incredible.
那么我是素食主义者，我是不吃肉食和蛋和奶的。但是在上海，我吃的餐厅让我觉得非常非常的棒。
So So I've been turned around. Now I want to be in Hong Kong because it's ahead of the game. Everywhere else isn't as good as Hong Kong, as Shanghai is. Yeah.
那我现在我觉得我非常开心来到上海。我认为上海是站在世界的前沿的。
So this adaptable, practical, materialistic is ruled by Mercury.
那么这些都是受水星这个守护的。
So when she thinks about what she wants, it goes to the Mercury in Scorpio.
那么当他想要什么的时候呢，就好像就是他喜欢什么东西的时候呢，就来到了这个水星在天蝎座。
Are you going to argue with her about taste?
你想要跟他去辩论什么是品味吗？
You'll be getting a lecture back for the next 20 years.
那么你可能要在接下来20年中都会受到他的这个都会上他的这一课，他都会给你上这一课。
The Mercury in Scorpio, we just picked up on whatever Venus wants and get working on it.
那么水星在天蝎呢，在这里看到通过这个守护星的话呢，就和金星的这个品味联系在一起。
See, I'm just going. I mean, usually there's the Moon, and then the Mercury, and then the Venus. You can jump back and forth and see the different layers how they affect each other.
那么大家也可以通过就是说月亮、金星和水星这样的3个一组啊，它的层级不同的这个能量互相如何影响的。
So, do you love me? Let me analyze this.
你爱我吗？让我分析一下吧。
If you're giving someone a hug and they're starting to analyze it, is it really a hug?
那么如果想象一下，如果一个人给你一个拥抱，他爱上了你，那么你去分析一下他这个拥抱的行为的话，这真的是一个爱吗？
She has a mix between two things. Her mind and her son is incredibly passionate.
那么他的这个思维，他的想法、思考是非常非常具有这个激情的。
But the Venus and the Mars is very fussy.
那么但是呢，他的这个金星在这个处女座呢，是非常的这个讲究的。
Does this mean, oh yes, for sure, oh no, not? Oh yes, oh not now?
那么就好像是说他自己内在也有这个能量，是啊，现在就是吧，哦不是现在，现在就去吧，不是现在。
Sometimes that can be annoying.
那么有的时候这个也会让他自己很恼火。
But it's your style.
但这就是你的能量。
If I don't want to do something, why should I?
如果我不想做什么事情，我为什么要做这个事情呢？
You're certainly not going to go from a $50 bottle of wine back to a beer.
你当然不会说我一直每天喝几罐啤酒，到一下子会变成每天什么也不喝。
You could have a beer and then go to the $50 bottle of wine, but you're not going to go back.
那么如果你这个喝惯了这个比较昂贵的红酒的话，你可能没有办法再每天去喝那些廉价的啤酒了。
You have a natural gift for mixing things, for making it a little bit better. This is a little nicer. This is a little nicer. Like if you were doing a massage, here, just fix this. Oh, that feels like you have a very natural touch, healing energy.
你有一个非常自然的这个疗愈的能量，也就是说你可以知道说什么是能够做得更好的，就好像在按摩的时候，你会知道说，哎，你应该去按哪一个点会更好，你会让事情变得更完美。
So as soon as you see one image, think of an opposite. Think of something different and try to imagine the same thing, and then you start expanding what possibilities you could see with this.
那么当我们看到一个能量的显化的时候呢，我们可以去联想到它的反面，通过联想到它的反面呢，然后再结合它的这个正面的那个形象呢，我们就可以去扩大我们对这个能量的理解了。
So when she's really satisfied, she's still measuring. This is nice. This is nice. Okay, this is okay.
那么当他满意的时候呢，他也是在衡量的，满意也是金星的这个代表，那么他也是在这个像处女座那样不停的在衡量的，在比较的，说哎这个是怎么样，那个是怎么样。
But if it's not that nice the next time, she's going to be measuring too.
那么如果下一次不够好的话，他还是会衡量的。
So if you give her your best today, she's going to want better tomorrow.
如果你今天把自己最好的那一部分给到他的话呢，他明天会想要更好的你。
But that was my best. I don't have to give it every day.
那么，但是这就是我能够给到的最好啊！我今天就已经把我最好的给到你了。
More? Better?
还要更多，还要更好吗？天哪！
So these are just stories, but you start to see it's making it real. I have my Mercury, my Mars and Scorpio. I think like sexual images and patterns because you see them. But astrology includes that. But it's about your individuality more than it is male or female. You're an individual. Strength isn't male or female. Intelligence isn't male or female, although it looks female because there's so many stupid guys out there.
那么，就是这个星盘呢，其实它代表的就是你独特的这个能量，是代表你个人化、个性化的一个能量。
Okay, so in the houses, you take that fussy attitude, that elegant, meticulous evaluation, and it's in the house 3.
那么你带着这个就是那个分析的那个讲究的态度，然后呢，你又有这种对于完美的追求，这种不停分析的这个对爱情、对享受、对要的东西不停分析的能力来到了这个三宫。
We know generally it's the house of communications.
那么通常我们知道三宫是代表沟通的一个宫位。
So you're already thinking the critic, the analysis. Someone can criticize and analyze things, but they'd be very critical about anything she would write.
那么这个沟通的呢，很自然的就和这个处女座的这个分析、挑剔以及他的这个做研究的这个能力相联系在一起。
But in the end, it's projective and instigative.
那么三宫呢，其实它是最终呢，它是一个投射型的和这个开创型的。
She will tell you what she's criticizing about. She will let you know.
他批评什么，他评断什么，他都会让你知道。
And she'll let you know her own subjective, personal take. This is stupid. This isn't working. What are you doing that for? She's just going to have that down pat.
那么他也会把他自己主观的个人化的这个情绪或者评断告诉你，因为他是在地平线之下的。
This is the intuitive quadrant, third, second, first house. You're projecting your personal where you're coming from.
那么这是这个象限呢，就是你的直觉的象限，也就是1、2、3个宫位都是这个象限。那么它代表就是说，你把个人的主观的这个你来自哪里这个能量投射出去。
So you're intuitively projecting what you want or what you like, but for her, in that intuition, she's going to be saying, "This isn't perfect. That's not right. We got to fix this. Who put that picture up there? We got to do this. How come it's so hot in here?" There's all these things are going to be projected out.
那么他就会把各种各样的这个主观的自己的想法、个人性的东西投射出去了，就好像是说，为什么这里这么热？这为什么会这样？
But it's in a cadent house, the third house of trying to understand.
那么它是在中宫，那么第三宫是代表这个需要去理解的这个宫位。
So she'll sit there for a little bit. This isn't comfortable. I don't like this. Something's wrong here. And then she starts to understand why, whatever. And then she realizes how stupid everyone else is. So she better educate them and tell them this needs to be done, and we could do it this way, or we could fix this, or we could fix that.
那么他好像就是坐在这儿，然后他觉得不舒服，好像说有什么东西理解的是错误了呢？他好像觉得其他人都是这么愚蠢，然后我应该去告诉别人什么是错的，什么是对的，我应该去教育别人什么应该去做什么。
So it's in air, in a world of relationships, communication, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, short travels. There's a need to get it out. Once she knows something, somebody's going to hear about it.
那么它是在这个三宫，就是风向的这个宫位。那么这个宫位代表了这个沟通，兄弟姐妹，然后阿姨、叔叔，然后这个短途旅行。所以呢，一旦他知道一些什么东西的时候，他是需要把这个他知道的让别人了解，或者让别人知道。
So you have to be very careful if you say, "Hi, how are you?" because you're going to get the story.
那么，当你跟他去打招呼的时候，你需要比较小心，因为你跟他打招呼的时候说嗨，你怎么样啊？他可能会给你一个他会告诉你很多故事。
But since this is the area of expression, common sense, mental perspective, personal content, how one expresses herself, her gift is in expressing this criticism.
那么
this and be able to express it, yeah.
那么，因为他是在这个表达的这个宫位，所以呢，就是说，他的这个礼物呢，是真正就是把他自己的这个真实的，善于去评断、善于去分析、善于去挑剔的这样的一个能量，去表达出来。那么这就是表达这个他的这个，善于批评的这个能力。
And going back to we didn't do it, but the rulership of Virgo, Mercury, so it has to talk about it properly and well. So this is incredible incentive. I value this. I see what's wrong. Write about it. Tell people how to fix it. That Scorpio Mercury will do really wonderful with it.
那么就好像是说，金星的守护星，金星在处女座，守护星是水星，水星在天蝎座，所以对他来说，他拥有这样的评断力。然后呢，当他对他自己喜欢什么东西的这一点，他喜欢什么，不喜欢什么，然后他把这个表达出来，然后呢，去告诉别人是说，你哪里不对，哪里做错了，然后呢，怎么样才可以做更好。这就是水星天蝎座也是最好的这个结合起来一起表达，所以对他来说，成为一个评论家也是一个很适合的这个能量表达。
So you're starting to see, look, we're seeing the moon feeds into need to be noticed, need to be appreciated. The Venus appreciation needs to express itself. The Mercury is Scorpio, it knows what's right and wrong, and I have to say this. Why isn't anybody listening? I gotta do it. And the drive to write, especially if you ran across a special problem, people with learning problems, people not listening properly, and you're writing with it, you would be brilliant.
那么，想要更多，大家还有知道的吗？就是木星会给金星带来什么样的挑战和压力呢？
Spending too much.
就花的更多，花的太多。
What's too much satisfaction?
那么什么是过多的这个满足呢？什么是
That's impossible.
你不可能有过多的满足。
So, there's always got to be a way.
那么总有方法去获得这个。
We want it, we'll figure a way to get it.
你想要这个东西，我们可以想办法去获得它。
But that square to Jupiter, she can get misunderstanding about what she wants. She wants something so much she can't understand that someone can't pay for it. And these puzzles can come around this. So, because of this, if you were gambling, you'd lose a lot of money.
那么，这个金星的话呢，金星和这个木星的挑战呢，就在于是说，你木星的话，你不能很好理解，或者是你错误的理解了自己想要什么，会给你带来麻烦。也就是说，你想要的过多，或者是说，当你想要到那些东西，对方不能支付的时候，这个相位的话，如果你去赌博的话，可能你会就是输掉很多这个财产。
But Venus is too practical in an Earth sign to gamble.
那么，但是呢，金星在这个土象星座，它非常的实际，它不会去赌博。
She doesn't want to lose. She won't want to lose what she has. She just wants to get more.
他不想要失去他想拥有的东西，他不会去失去他拥有的东西，他想要做的只是想要拥有更多更多。
And the husband's going to be saying more.
她的老公
We can't afford it. That's enough.
她的老公会说更多吗？哎呀，我们不能承担这些东西，你还要更多吗？
She's going to say nonsense. We need to get this. This has to be better. It's got to be work. It doesn't make sense. And she's going to be struggling to teach the other person what she wants.
那么她可能会去想要，她可能会去陷入这样的一个情境，就是说告诉她的那个男人说，我们需要更多，我们需要这个，我们需要那个。
Whether it's right or wrong.
不管是这个是否合适，她还是会去想要更多，这就是她的非常大的陷阱和挑战。
So having someone that would argue with her or challenge her judgment would not be a bad thing.
如果说对方能够去挑战他的这个想法，挑战他的这个欲望的话，可能并不是一件坏事。
We can't spend that much.
我们不能花那么多钱。
So this is Venus. Again, the person wants to take a lot of time. Now, I'm just going to go right ahead. Yeah, we get to the sun. Okay. So what is it? The sun in Scorpio. We know the intensity. You got the nighttime increasing. Nighttime is greater. We're here. We're committed. And look you in the eye. This is it. We're married. You're not getting away. You're caught.
那么我们刚刚讲到过，天蝎座就是那个冬天的这个星座，然后它就是日常比较夜长是增多的，然后夜晚是大于白天的。那么也就是说，我们在这儿我们要对双方有承诺，然后我看着你眼睛，我希望你诚实。
So this is the sun now. It's tying in with Mercury because they're conjunct. But you got the sun, which is important. We're important. This is it. Who is that? What are you talking about? What are you doing? This is going on. So she's measuring everything.
那么他是在衡量所有的东西，他要表示生命中的重要的东西，他在衡量说我们在这儿，我们是在一起，我们会在一起多久？这是什么对我们是重要
Do you check his email? Yes, he checks his email. You know, you get email. What if somebody checked your email?
你让谁来就是说收你的邮件呢？
But how could you leave not look? What's he doing? What's he up to?
你怎么会不去查他的时间表呢？
This is the Scorpio secret.
这是这个天蝎座的这个秘密，你可能会去翻他的这个邮箱啊。
I have to know.
我必须知道。
Okay, so it's kind of the magic, the secret, the deepness, but it's funny to talk about. So she has the sun there. Let's just keep going. It's moving towards belonging. We're in, we're commitment. Now that we're here, we have to do this together. Tell me everything.
那么
And I'll tell you what's good.
那么这就是归属，就互相归属，然后会拥有更多的责任感。我们在这儿，这就是我们需要对对方负责。
So she doesn't dominate with authority. She smothers with affection.
那么他并不是对这个社会的这个地位去控制他的这个地位和权利，而是他会对他喜欢的东西、他喜欢的人或者他喜爱的家庭进行这样的一个控制。
If you don't play ball, you're cut off.
Sorry?
If you don't play, if you're not going to be romantic, I'm not talking to you. That's it. Do without it. Huh?
如果你不浪漫的话，那么我可能就不会跟你在一起了。
So this is normal Scorpio logic, moving towards responsibility, wanting more logic. What are we doing tomorrow? Let's do more. She wants to make all the plans for us. What plans can he make?
那么这就是趋向于更多的责任的这个组合，也就是说，我想知道为我们两个人做计划，我想我们两个人明天一起在干些什么吧，我想为我们两个人制定长远的计划。
That's normal for her. If she weren't this way, she wouldn't be being honest.
那么这是他的这个能量，如果他表现的不是这样的话，那么就不是他了。
Many people appreciate deep commitment and trust.
那么很多人喜欢这个深度的这个承诺，以及这个对互相的一个负责。
Even if it's a little bossy.
即使是那个人他好像是有一点点就是管理欲的，对我有一些管理欲。
So it's reflective. Anything she's reflecting on as she thinks about it, it's going to become important.
那么是回馈性的，那么也是这种阴性的能量。所有他回馈的这些东西，对他来说都是非常重要的。所以他收到的回馈都是非常重要的。
So if she has a kid, it's important we have this type of trailer. It's important we have this type because we can't just use that one. That's dangerous. It's important we get this one. This is important.
那么如果他有个小孩的话，他就会说，对我们来说，买这一款推车非常重要，因为这是很安全的。买那一款宝宝用品是非常重要的，这个我有我的理由。
So when you add this importance to the fussy, expensive Venus and Virgo, it has its own special quality.
那么当你把这个能量呢和金星和木星那个扩张的结合在一起呢，那么就会形成一个非常独特的这个能量。
But if she was your mom, she'd be wanting to dress you a certain specific way.
如果她是你的母亲的话呢，她会想要把你打扮成一个非常就是特别的，按照她自己的那个想法打扮的样子。
My mom wanted me to wear shorts. I wouldn't wear shorts.
我母亲想要让我穿那个超短裙，我不想穿超短裙。
Who knows why? But when someone's telling you, you gotta do it, here it is, it's planned out, we've got the perfect thing for you. I'm not going to school with that, Mom.
那么就好像那个母亲说，我已经告诉你，这是这是我能够给你最好的，然后你应该这样打扮，你应该这样做，你应该那样做。而那个女孩说，妈妈，我不想这样打扮上学。
Come on, Mom, I want to have a ripped pocket, I want to have my pants hanging down a little bit. I just want to go to school like that.
那么我就说我不想穿那个超短裙，我就是想穿长一点的裙子吗？不可以吗？
Star Wars again.
那么好像就又开始了一个星球大战。
But it's real, but it's what that kid's going to grow up. I got to fight against Mom.
那么这个小孩就说，我要跟我母亲抗争。
That kids, when they grow up and get married, their wife or husband is going to say, "It's your mom."
那么那个小孩当他长大以后呢，他的这个妻子或者另外一半可能会或者丈夫可能会说，你刚刚的行为就好像你母亲一样。
Guess what? Your mom's coming to visit. She wants to stay for 3 months.
那么你母亲来跟你一起住，她来探视你，她跟你住一段时间。
Not your mom. Not your mom.
哦，不是你妈妈。
So you just you see it as yourself, you see it to your parents, you see it to your kids, you see it to the boss, and it starts to make sense. You start to see, how come I got this? But you've got it. How do you use it?
那么你可以从很多人身上，比如说，这个你的老板、你的男朋友、你的身边的人看到这个能量，但是当你自己拥有这个能量的时候，你就会去想，我如何最好的应用这个能量。
She would go up a little, like she wants to be noticed, but she's shy. She's Scorpio. She doesn't want to be always showing out everything. So she starts shy, but she's very practical and smart. She's got to use her energy. So as you get older, you learn to project and make it happen.
那么他是，他有这骄傲的那一面啊，但是他也有就是害羞的那一面，因为天蝎座是刚开始会比较害羞的，所以呢，但是他有很实际的那一面，像他也是非常聪明的，所以等他年纪越长的时候，他就会去开始把他这些主要的能量给投射出去。
So she reflects on things. She's determined. She's consistent. She resists change. My kid is not going to go on a skateboard until such and such a day. My kid is not going to do this.
那么他是固定星座，就是天蝎座是固定星座，所以他是这个下定决心的。那么他是就有持续性的，也是抗拒改变的。也就是说，他可能会制定这样的规则：我的小孩不到这个年龄是不能坐滑板车的，我的小孩不到这个不达到这个标准是不能干这个事情的。
If you're teaching her kid that emotional judgment side, she's going to watch what you're doing.
那么，如果你是他小孩的老师的话呢，他那个情绪化的那一面呢，那个评断性的那一面，他可能会驱使他会不停的去，或者是说去盯着你。
The husband goes to discipline the kid. Wait a second. This is my kid. This is my decision. Don't you dare.
如果这个他的丈夫呢去给这个小孩制定新的规矩的话，他就会说，不，这是我的小孩，这是我的规矩，等一下。
It's a normal instinct. It's not wrong.
这就是一个非常普通的一些直觉性的反应啊，这并不是错误的。
Okay, so then you get the ruler Mars. Don't tell me I can't do this.
那么这就是这个火星是这个守护天蝎座的。那么这个表示呢，他就会说不要管我。
So even though the moon's in Leo, this Venus, the Sun in Scorpio with the Mercury and the Venus Virgo, when she's doing things for her kids, I'm doing it. No one's going to do this. No one's going to babysit my kids. I can't trust anyone. I'm doing everything.
那么就好像是说，如果他在照顾小孩的时候，他会说：“这是我的小孩，我来照顾他，没有别人可以照顾他。我就是要按照我的方式来照顾他。”
Of course, that becomes a lot of work.
那么这就变成了很多工作。
And if the husband's smart, he's a little bit more working and doesn't stay to do it all.
那么她的那个老公如果聪明的话，她老公会把这些照顾小孩的事全都扔给她。
So again, in the house, it's reactive, it's subjective. I'm reacting personally. We have to have this. It's got to be like this. This isn't enough. We have to do this. We have to do more. Oh, come on. So she's always encouraging someone, but there's a condition.
那么他这个也是在五宫，所以五宫呢就是这个选择性、回馈性的，然后呢是主观的个人的存在，那么他就是用主观的这些回馈，所以呢他 sorry last sentence.
I can't remember. Let it go. Okay, so her confidence will come from giving power to personal reactions.
那么他的自信呢，会从把这个个人的这个反馈呢，就给到个人反馈这方面，会给他带来自信。
When she has a real cause, this is wrong. She's going to get her confidence. This is wrong. I'm going to do something with this. We have to fix this.
那么好像就是说，他从事社会上某一个职业，比如说去帮助某一个社团这样子去做一个，就是说指出错误，做一个正确的事情的话呢，会给他带来真正的自信。
At that point, no one's going to get in the way of the Scorpio.
那么那个时候呢，没有人会去挑战他的天蝎座的能量。
If you get him mad, not only will you have the battle, early moon's there, everyone will know.
那么如果你让他生气的话呢，你不仅会这个引起这个战争，而且更重要的是，所有的人都会知道这个事情。
It's the same energy, but if you find it something that's wrong for kids or doing wrong, and you say, no, that has to be fixed. Everyone will know, and you'll write your book and you'll fix it.
那么就好像是说，去帮助那些困难的小孩，你会去指出说社会上做的不对的地方，然后呢，让整个社会所有的人都知道说这个错误在哪里，那么所有人都会知道这一点。
I have the kids hat, and I got one of these balloons on a string with a little piece of paper, about this high. So the cat was playing, let's jump on it, come down, then it sits still, so she lets go of it, comes back up, jumps at it, comes down. So she's playing like 10 minutes like that. I go out for evening. I come back 4 hours later. The cat's still with the thing. She lets go, it goes up, and jumps on again. It was a Scorpio cat. But she couldn't stop. She was dead tired. They kept going back up.
那就是我家里养的一个天蝎座的这个天蝎座的这个猫啊。那么就是说，我们家里有一个玩具，就是一个球扔上去，然后猫就会去抓它。所以这个好像就是一个循环往复的游戏。那么我就跟它玩了10分钟，然后我出去了。等到4个小时以后，这只猫很累了，但还在玩这个游戏，这就是天蝎座的能量。
So, in this creative, you're getting the sense that this creative sun and Mercury in the 5th house, with the Venus and Mars in Virgo, and with Leo, with your own kids, you're going to be very controlling, and but when you go out to teach and work with other people's kids, especially if it was problem kids, kids with special needs, you would be an angel.
那么，对于就是说太阳在天蝎在5宫，然后水星也是在天蝎在5宫。那么，金星在3宫，金星在处女座在3宫，还有月亮在狮子座在2宫，我们把它们加在一起。那么对于这些能量来说，如果你有自己的小孩的话，你可能会对他们非常有控制欲。但是如果你去社会上去教育那些有特殊需求的小孩的话，对于那些困难小孩的话，你将是一个天使。
So by the time you finish with your kid and your family, you need to go out and work with kids. You do everyone a favor getting out of the house. You get out, but you're working with kids, problem kids, and you won't quit. You'll find a solution. You'll get your intelligence working. You'll write what you're supposed to write, and everyone will love it.
那么，当你就是年纪稍长的时候，就有了自己的家庭，然后小孩长大的时候呢，请你帮你家里一个忙，请你走出这个家，然后去走上这个社会，去帮助那个社会上需要帮助的有特殊需求的这个小孩。那么这个时候，你的这个心智，你的这个水星摩羯呢，就可以水星天蝎呢，就可以去发挥它的功效。然后呢，你也不会去害怕这个面对的困难。然后呢，你也会去为这些小孩而奋斗。而这个时候呢，你就可以开始写这个关于这些特殊小孩的书。那么当你写成这个书的时候呢，所有人都会喜欢你。
In the meantime, while you have your kid, you're learning astrology, you're learning how to apply it, you're getting another language, you're seeing how to recognize problems. And when you run across these, you're going to know what to do about this.
那么同时的话，如果你也学占星学的话呢，你也会非常让你感兴趣，因为你可以一点一点的去深入，你的水星天蝎呢也会得到满足。
So it's very possible it could be astrology book you write.
那么你也很可能成为一个占星师。
It's going to be deep, it's going to be intense, and you're going to be critical, and here's it is. This fits you very nicely.
因为你必须要非常深入的，然后你要去发现这些洞悉，钻到深处去发现这些问题，然后呢，你也需要有这样的思维，这样评断这些推理的这些头脑。那么这个对你来说也非常适合你的能量。
We haven't gone to transits, we haven't gone to progressions. We've just looked at the natal chart. What's the predisposition? But we've already solved many of the puzzles of how this life should be.
那么我们还没有看行运，我们还没有看推进，我们只是看本命盘的这些信息，我们就会看到说这个生命它有多么多的可能性，多么多的选择可以去活出来。
So we already see that if she moves away from things like this, she'll be more unhappy. If she moves towards these things, she'll get more powerful, more happy.
那么我们可以看到说，如果说我们刚刚描述的这些能量、这些可能性，如果它是朝向这个可能性生活的，和这个生活更贴近的话，那么他会更开心。如果他的生活和这个完全不相关的话，可能他会比较抑郁或者是比较难受。
This is the type of thinking and the standard you need before you go to transit.
那么这是很重要的，就是在我们去看推运或者行进的时候，去做这个星盘的预测的时候，我们必须要去了解这个人的真实的能量，去了解本命盘，这是最基础的。
It's no longer a symbol; it's a challenge to live up to your horoscope.
它并不是一个符号，它是一种挑战，你是否能够把你生命的潜能完全的发挥出来。
To take the best you have and work with it. To take the worst you have and make it better. And to direct it where it doesn't hurt anybody.
那么去发挥你最长的优势，去 去面对和接受你最坏的地方，然后把它去进行改良，或者是调整，或者是改正，然后呢，让你自己的能量不要去伤害别人。
This temperament will never fit in to sitting in a boardroom talking with a bunch of people trying to plan how to build another big high-rise.
那么这个能量，这个人呢，他永远不适合坐在一个就是像董事局的会议室去跟这个他们的这个董事会去商量我们如何去建下一座高楼吧。
Because the other thing, because it's Venus, if she wasn't going to be the writer, she could be a designer.
那么就是因为还有另外一个事情，就是因为他的金星在这儿，金星在这个处女座，如果他不成为一个作家的话，他还可以成为一个设计师。
Again, the sun is the same thing. The sun squares the moon. It conjuncts the Mercury, Pluto, and Saturn.
那么太阳的那个主要相位，大家可以看照一下它挑战性的相位。太阳呢是和这个四分月亮的，然后合向了冥王星、水星和土星。
I need to communicate. I have to say something. I need to accomplish something.
我需要去成就什么？我需要去沟通。
Even if I have my kid, even if my mother isn't supporting me, even if my parents don't think it's what they want, I still have to do this.
那么，即使是我有个小孩，即使我父母反对我，即使他们不理解我，我还是需要去做这些事情，表达我想要表达的，做我想做的事情。
So the fight is with my own family, with habits. If I'm going to write this, I'm going to have to write a bit every day, work at this consistently, and oh boy, I don't know if I can make the effort. I got the kids, they got these other things to do, but eventually you have to go. Because this is your sun, it's really pushing you to go with these things.
那么，你的挑战呢，就是跟你的习惯、跟你的过去，然后跟你的家庭，就是这些挑战是否能够实现你自己这些活出你的这些能量。但是你的太阳又是非常强大的，所以你的能量是必须，或者是说终究是会要活出来。
So, you could have just said, oh, these are all bunched up in the fifth house. She needs to be creative. She needs to express herself. Venus and Virgo. You could get there like that, but you wouldn't understand it like this.
那么你可以说，就是说，你可以这样去解读，比如说，
You miss the texture. You miss the journey.
你可以去这样解读，比如他太阳，他的行星都在5宫，所以他需要表演啊，或者他金星在处女座，他需要怎么样。但是你会，这样解读的话，你会失去对这个人的这个纹理的理解。
And the little details, just working through this, it gets you in closely. It gets you into the mechanics, into the texture, so you're a little more comfortable. Oh, it probably decides like this, or it probably goes like that.
那么，当我们去一条一条的去理解的时候呢，我们就好像说，真正的理解了这个人一条一条的纹理，他每一个面相我们都经历过了。
What's an intense Scorpio that's really fussy going to do? You got to do something. You got to put that energy somewhere.
那么想象一下，那一个就是非常激烈的这个天蝎座，如果他对很多意见都是有这个他自己的这个看法评断的话，他一定会把自己的这个能量导向在某一方面的。
So after you pass being the lover, having the kid, there's still something to accomplish.
那么，即使是你成为这样的一个拥有这个家庭，有了小孩，你还是要去成就某些事情。
If you just watched only your own kid and stayed there just for your own grandkids, you would be a really fussy, picky old grandma.
那么，如果说你只是照顾自己的家庭，养育小孩，然后呢，就把自己奉献给这个家，然后呢，再抚育你的这个孙子孙女的话呢，你可能会成为那个非常的痛苦的、非常这个埋怨的这个老太婆。
The kids would be fine, so you could easily choose to do that.
你可能会非常容易的去选择成为这个走向这个人生道路。
But in today's world, it's a woman's world.
但是在这个当今的这个时代呢，是女性的时代。
You got to look other women in the eye.
你需要去看看其他的女性做些什么。
I got my book.
我有我写的书。
Says a lot.
那么，如果我告诉别人说我写了一本书，那么它也代表了非常多的意涵。那我也是非常骄傲。
So even though it's a low chart, the sun is low. It's not a high-profile, famous chart. It can accomplish a lot and do something very significant and find a very creative meaning in life.
那么虽然它的这个行星都是在下面的，它的太阳是在下面的，它是一个低调的人，低调的配置，它并不是一个太阳在 这个地平线之上的那种高调的或者追求功利的这个配置，但是呢，他也有非常大的天赋，他也可以去完成很多他可以完成的非常特别的这个天分。
So she could have grown up with her parents telling her, no, you got to do business, no, you just got to do this, and she would have to rebel against it.
那么如果他长大的时候，他的父母会跟他说，不行，你需要去做这个经商，或者你需要去进某些什么企业，但是他必须要去和这些能量或者这些父母相抗争。
Okay, I'll get the measurement, but I just want to talk. Saturn's in the same place here. Saturn's the next one in. I'm going to do it quickly. I'm not going to do all the steps because I want to do some other ones. But the Saturn ties into the Sun and Mercury. This has to be done. The Saturn influences the Sun and the Mercury. The Mercury and the Sun don't influence the Saturn.
那么这个土星也在这里，所以呢，我也会把土星先讲一下，简单的讲一下。那么土星呢，会影响水星和这个太阳。那么太阳和水星呢是不会影响土星的，大家这样去理解比较好。
They might have some influence, but not enough, not anything to focus on. The energy is going from the outer planets in.
那么，太阳和这个水星呢，对土星也会有稍微的一些影响，但是呢，我们还是要从就是说，外行星对内行星的影响去理解这个行星的总和。
So very simply, she needs the authority. She needs to be the authority. Sun conjunct Saturn.
那么很简单的，就是太阳合相了土星，它需要成为这个权威。
But it's not in the 10th house.
但是并不是在10宫。
Her husband, her lover, her husband, and her children will know this authority.
她的这个小孩、她的老公、她的丈夫会理解这个权威代表的是什么。
And the in-laws and the relatives, everybody's going to know this authority.
那么她的这个就是那个她的那个婆婆或者是她的亲戚都会理解这个所谓的权威代表的是什么。
But as a person, you could even just write about your own family, and this came like this, but you'd be too private to write about your family. So it's more likely you'd write about a problem, kids, or other people's problems. But once you have a book and you've accomplished something other than just being mom, wow, that starts leading. And it's not because you're driven to. You're too smart. To just let you just have a baby, be a mom, and just have that physical work. You're too smart to do that.
那么，就是你也可以写一本关于家庭的书，但是关于自己家庭的书，可能对你来说太隐私化、太个人化了。你可能更会倾向于去写一些关于这个社会上的家庭，或者是说社会上需要帮助的家庭、需要帮助的小孩的书籍。那么，当你写一本书的话，对你来说是一个非常大的成就。而且对你来说，因为你头脑太聪明了，你的天分，你拥有非常好的天分，所以如果你什么也不做，只是去抚育你的孩子的话，对自己是一个非常大的浪费。
So you could do both.
你可以两者兼顾。
Now in a consultation, I may know all this information, but knowing you're a Scorpio, I might approach this very differently in talking to you.
那么，我可能并不理解这个，就是我可能并不认识这个人，但是如果说我知道他是天蝎座，他来到我这里做个案的话，我会这么去跟他去沟通。
I might say you're a struggling, you're a domineering, stuffy, bossy mother, controlling the kid, controlling things, and you're never going to ever write your book about anything. You're never going to come to anything, are you?
那么我跟他说，你就是那个对你小孩非常控制的，对自己的家庭非常有控制的，然后呢，你也不会去真正的就是去写一本书，对吗？你认为这是对的吗？
You would get really mad at me?
你会对我非常愤怒吗？
You think I paid money for this?
你会想，我就花了钱就听你说这些。
You'd walk out of the consultation, and for the next 10 years, you'd be mad at me until you got your book done.
那么你会离开这个咨询，你会对我非常的愤怒。接下来10年，对我非常愤怒，直到你写成了自己这本书以后。
Because I said you can't do this, you'll never do this.
因为我会对你说，你永远不会做成这件事情。
That's like the boyfriend. You'll never come with me, would you?
Sorry.
That's like the boyfriend saying, "Chicken, you'll never come with me, will you?"
这就好像是那个男朋友就会挑衅我说，你好像你不敢跟我在一起，对吗？
Never call a Scorpio a chicken.
永远不要去挑衅或者是威胁这个天蝎座。
But that's the reverse psychology of Scorpio. You almost have to do the opposite and tell them they can't, and then they'll do it. If you're just being nice, they won't bother.
那么这就是对于天蝎座来说，你要去有一个这样逆向思维的能力啊。
So her husband saying, "No, I'm not going to bed now." What? And she has to get mad and fight him and drag him there. That's more fun.
Sorry.
So her husband, yes, I am talking fast. So if her husband says, she says, let's go to bed, hon, he says no. So she gets mad, she has to go drag him, climb him, drag him, bring him to bed. That's more fun.
如果说她的老公在那儿打游戏，然后她让他上床，他不肯，然后她把他拖上床，这可能是他们之间的一个游戏吧。
So she has a funny issue between the Leo moon of wanting to be noticed and very private.
那么她内在有这样的一个挑战，就是说她月亮在狮子座，希望被关注，但是呢，她的天蝎座能量又让她想要变得就是隐私，或者是有自己的这个世界。
That very private is what creates the imagination of the writer.
那么这种个人化、隐私化，就是带来那个作家的这样创造欲的这个能量。
It's more imaginative. This terrible thing could happen. This could happen. This is how you get away with it. Better than design.
那么这是一种非常具有想象力的能量。
Because design is technical, but it's not passionate in the same way.
那么它比那个设计更好一点点，因为设计只是去规划，而并不是说有这样的激情，它需要在生命中拥有把这个激情的能量散发出来。
So we have a structure. We're looking at specific things. I'm just talking in and around it, filling in little gaps, talking about it, but taking the time to do it. The whole thing comes to life, and it's not any one of you could do this.
那么我刚刚就是在这样一条一条去分析的时候呢，就开始把星盘的信息穿针引线的这个结合起来了。那么大家每一个人都是可以这么做的。
The main thing is once you know astrology can do this, and that you could do this, and that it can be done like this, it's yours.
那么一旦你知道占星学原来是这样的，它原来可以这样完成，那么你自己去练习这样完成的时候，你自己就成了占星学，你就可以拥有占星学了。
Until then, you're just following what everybody says. That follow this book, read this book. Everyone's saying this. You're looking at all these ideas. You know it means something, but you're just floating on the surface.
那么，如果你只是去看这本书啊，这个人是这么说的，那个人是这么说的。如果你只是重复别人讲的话的时候，你只是浮在这个表面，而不是真正的去潜入这个人的能量，去和他去把这个能量表达出来。
It's more than a symbol. It's reality. You can stay in the symbol world and talk about it if you're symbol-minded.
那么它并不是一个符号啊，而它是一种就是说鲜活的能量。
But if you're hungry and you want to know, and you know that astrology can do this, don't sell out. Wait till you find it. Be greedy. I want to know it all.
那么，如果你非常渴望去学习占星，那么你也想通过占星去了解人性的话，你也想知道占星它能够带来这样的魔法，或者是说通过占星学去帮助别人的话，那么当你刚开始学习的时候，不要退缩，变得贪婪，直到你学会所有的东西，不要退缩。
It may not come. Sometimes you may not get the answer in a day. Sometimes you may get it in a half hour. Sometimes it may take a week. Sometimes a month. But it's there.
那么有的时候我们会花几小时获得答案，有的时候我们会要花几天才能解读一个星盘，但是那个星盘的信息，它的能量就是在那儿，我们只是。
Usually it's the part that we think we know what we're doing. I know this. I know it's this. And we're trying to put the knowledge in to project it. That stops us from seeing. Oh, it's working like that.
那么通常呢，我们只是做这个头脑的游戏，我们会把我们学到的说，哎，我知道是这样，我知道那样，我知道那样拼凑在一起，而不是真正的去理解这个能量，去理解这个人。
When you go at this yourself, it's taking a long time because I'm talking, we're translating. It's taking a long time, but you're looking at it, you're thinking it. You're not having to talk it out. You're looking. You take a minute, but then when you talk about it, you've already got those things together. You can ask questions then. You don't have to, I know this. It's like, oh, I see the puzzle. It's not like I know the puzzle. I'm not sure how to solve your problems. I got my own. I struggle with my own chart. But I'm tuned in a little bit. I got the question.
那么就好像是说，我并不是说我知道你这个人是谁，而是说，我潜入你的这些能量，然后呢，我试着去理解这些能量是怎么样的，我试着去理解你，因为每个人都有自己的星盘，每个人都有自己的这个困扰，每个人都有自己的这些挑战。但是呢，当你真正的能够去跟这些能量对话的时候，如果即使开始的时候你并不能完全的表达的时候，你也是可以通过提问去了解的。
So if you ask someone a question, it's almost a compliment. You know, like you're not telling someone, you're not pigeonholing. You're saying, well, how does this work for you? Wow, that gets good connection, good networking, good information.
那么，当你去问一个人对他能够有触动的问题的时候，其实这已经是一个建立关系、建立深度关系的一个能量了。
When you're starting, it would be a good idea to do the first consultation on the natal chart.
那么，当你开始的时候呢，建议大家都要从本命盘的分析、本命盘的解读开始。
And wait a month to do the transits.
那么，再等1个月或者几个月以后，再开始慢慢去解读这个行运或者是推进，就是占星学的预测的方法。
It's 2 sessions, but it's better than trying to prove everything in one session, do it too fast before you know what you're doing.
那么就是，这是这样分开呢，就是2个咨询了。但是呢，这比那个把所有的东西都放在一起，可能让你没有办法完全看清楚更加好。
Okay, so we're just going to look at what time are we at? 4:30. Do you want to take a 15-minute break or 10-minute break?
大家休息一下吗？
Maybe keep going. 10-minute break. Cool off.
休息一下吧。
Okay, 10 minutes.
这个步骤一步一步来。那么大家看上去好像有很多步骤要做，但是我希望大家不要去跳过每一步，因为跳过每一步你就会遗漏一些东西。
So with Mars, she has Venus and Mars together. So we looked at the Venus in the 3rd house. I need to be appreciated. I need to be listened to for every little detail. Are you listening, dear? And this too, and this too, and this too. Are you listening, dear? You have that Venus is listening. Now you got Mars there. You're not listening. You gotta listen so you have the strength backing up what she wants. If I want, like, you have the conjunction of Venus to Mars in Virgo. It's fussy with a violent attitude.
那么，火星也是在这个3宫，在处女座。如果今天在处女座在三宫的时候呢，你就会对自己的想要的东西会有很多的想法，有很多的这个选择，或者说有很多的就是按照自己的这个要求进行选择。那么火星在这里呢，你就会对自己的这个想要的东西有这种力量的驱动，想要去获得它。
Imagine what would happen if the husband said, "What are you wearing that for?"
那么你可以想象你的父亲，你的丈夫说，哎，你穿那个做什么？
It would set this off.
那么你可能会让他恼火。
She's the critic, but she can't stand to be criticized.
那么他是那个具有评断力的人，但是他并不希望就是受到别人的批评。
She criticizes herself enough, so I do enough. Don't you get your world together before you blame me.
那么他已经在内在足够多的去，就是说谴责自己，或者是说批评自己了。他已经去做到自己能够做的最好的了。他不希望别人再去评断他、批评他了。
So both are Venus and Mars. What I want are in Virgo, ruled by Mercury, which is in Scorpio, ruled by Mars.
那么，他的那个火星在这个处女座，处女座守护星在这个水星在天蝎座，天蝎座守护星又是火星。
So you're just looking for an argument.
所以你好像总是去寻找这个挑战和这个就是跟人吵架。
But it's this is in the sign is Virgo. Nighttime is increasing. It's still daylight is greater. I'm trying to do it better, but I'm doing it my way.
那么我想要去做得更好，但是我以我的方式做的，因为它是在这个日长更长，但是夜光在增长的那个区域。
It's reflective, so it's measuring, it's holding back. You made me do this.
那么它是这个反射性的，也就是说，你让我做这个事情。
I could have been a writer, but no, I married you.
我可以做一个我本来是可以成为一个这个作家的，但是我后来没有成功，是因为我嫁给了你。
When I say these things, they're little statements, but some people get caught in them and live 20 or 30 years on a judgment like that.
那么这些事情说起来好像很戏剧化，但是这些都是真切在人们生活中发生的事情。
So, but the attitude of Virgo is picky, it's analytical, it's fussy. I'm going to do this, I got to do this way. If he starts saying, no, you're driving wrong, just sit over a little bit more.
那么，他的这个态度呢，火星和金星的态度呢，都是 处女座的能量，也就是说它是有批判性的、有评断的，会进行分析的，会进行挑剔的，会按照他的要求去进行的。
It's rising. She can say that. She can put that up. He can't.
那么因为他是在这个升起的那一面，所以他可以去表达这些，但是你不能去有批评，你不能有评断，你不能有你的想法。
If she goes out for a job and she did the best she could, and the boss criticizes her, this is not going to work.
那么如果他有了一个工作，如果他做的最好，然而他的这个老板还是批评他的话，那么这个工作是不可能维持下去的。
So she's driving herself to be perfect. I know what I'm doing. I got to do this. I'm going to do this, and I've got to figure it out. So I'm going to do this. The Mercury rule, the Virgo. If I have to find 10 ways to do it, I'll do it.
那么就是他的火星在处女座，他是驱动于去使自己变得完美，驱动于做得更好，成为更完善的那个自己。所以他其实知道说我应该这么做，应该那样做才能做得更好。那么如果有一件事情可以做到最好，但是要花10种方法去做，他也会完成这件事情。
It's an earth sign. It's practical. She knows what she can get away with.
那么这是土象呢，是实际的一个星座，他知道他应该怎么去做得更好。
If I don't push, it's not going to get done.
如果我不驱动自己的
Get
话，
out of my way.
我不会做得更好。不要挡住我的路。
I can see how she would have no trouble driving in Shanghai.
那么我可以看到他在这个上海开车应该不会发生任何问题。
But it's ruled by Mercury.
那么它是由水星守护的。
It's practical. It's an earth sign. Now it's practical, but it's ruled by Mercury, which is over in Scorpio in the 5th house.
那它是实际的，但是它是由在第5宫的那个在那个第5宫的那个水星落于天蝎座的水星守护的。
So that Mars, ruled by Mercury, and Mercury being in Mars sign, it's called mutual reception. They're each in the sign that they rule.
那么这就是互融的概念，就是他们在对方所守护的那个星座。
But that Mars, it creates the intelligence and the impatience and the restlessness. So she couldn't stand someone being stupid.
那么这也就是为那个火星带来了那种不能停歇的那种智力性的那一种能量，也就是说他不能忍受别人是比较愚蠢的，或者是反应很慢的。
If her husband acts stupid or says the wrong thing, she's not going to take it.
如果她的丈夫说了很愚蠢的话，或者是说反应很迟钝的话，她是不能忍受的。
So you see that she's going to have trouble if her husband is a big jokester, if he jokes a lot.
如果她的老公一直是那个说笑话或者是开玩笑的人，她是不能忍受的。
She's so serious, it would almost make him become a joker.
那么，因为她是非常严肃的一个人，
But her temperament is not to put up with it.
但她的这个脾气是不能忍耐这些的。
But this is just looking at the Mars, ruled by Mercury with the Venus, both ruled by Mercury and Scorpio. The power, the communication, the intensity, and I have to perfect this, I have to perfect. When you're so busy perfecting things, you're not watching what other people are doing, and if they criticize you, how dare you?
那么你的这个好像你的能量一直是在去不停的完善自己的。那么当你自己专注于去完善自己的时候，你好像就会去忽略去关注别人。当别人去批评你的时候，你会去想你怎么可以批评我？
Is that a stain on your dress? I'm kidding. I did it perfectly, no. So this, you can play with people's charts. You can interact. There's a whole area called astro drama or astrotherapy, where you act out roles in your chart so you can learn about them better.
那么有一个专门的课程叫做，就是说，占星学的这个表演的这个治疗，也就是说，我们把我们的星盘演出来，通过演出我们星盘的这个能量去获得一个疗愈。
Okay, now, where are we here? Yeah, fortunately, the Mars and Uranus are not, the Mars and Venus, they're not squaring the Uranus.
那么非常幸运的是，就是说你的这个火星和金星并不是四分向你的天王星的。
This would be very high strung, but the Mars, that it does square the Jupiter.
但是你的这个火星确实也是四分了这个木星。
Like Venus, she wants too much. What does Mars do with Jupiter?
那么金星和这个木星四分相呢，它想要更多。那么火星和木星四分相呢，会做什么呢？ everything.
What does Mars do to Jupiter? What does Jupiter do to Mars? It exaggerates the power or the anger.
那么它会就是扩张这个你的力量或者扩大你的愤怒。
But not only does she want everything, she wants to do everything too.
她不仅想要拥有所有的事情，她还想要做所有的事情。
So she's going to do her husband and tell him what to do more than he's going to tell her.
那么她可能会去做这个她丈夫应该做的所有的事情。
So this is just, it's a judgment waiting for a happening. I want this, I figured this is perfect. What is not right? It has to be. And she's going to drive to do it.
那么就好像说，他看到不完美的地方，他看到错的地方，他就有那种驱动力，想要去改善，他想要去做所有的事情，让这个事情变得更完美。
Remember we had the original numbers. There was a whole bunch of fixed and a whole bunch of mutable, and almost no cardinal.
那么我们看到说，之前我们看到的那些元素的时候的话，它有一些一些固定星座，一些变动星座，但是没有这个开创星座。
Here it is. There's the fixed. There's the mutable. I'm perfecting. I'll adjust this. I'll make this better. This better. It's not good enough. What? And they go back and forth. But if you're writing, I'll write a script. Oh, I gotta fix it. I'll write another one, or I'll make it better. But with the imagination, that could work really well.
那么这个就是变动和这个固定和变动的星座的能量，就是我刚刚讲的这个能量。那么如果你能够把这个能量去放在写作上呢，就是你写作的时候，你刚刚开始写了一段还不是很完美，然后呢，我再继续去调整，然后再继续写作，这个就是把这个固定和变动的这个能量更好的应用在写作这个事情上，同时呢，也是让你这个具有激情的想象力，这个水星在天蝎座能够充分的发挥出来。
The Saturn on the Sun and the Mercury ends up being a friend that gives her some patience.
那么这个这个太阳和土星呢，也在这个过程中呢，他们也会变成一个朋友，他们让你能够成就这些事情。
It might depress her a little. Geez, I have to do this work. I have to do it, but she'll do it.
那么虽然做很多事情的话呢，会让你有一些这个抑郁和烦恼，但是你可以去处理这些事情，你还是可以去成就这些事情的。
Okay, I just want to go. I'm not gonna. But the houses, you see the Mars and the Venus, they're both rising. I gotta get out. I gotta express where I'm coming from. I gotta do things, but it's my thing. It's below the horizon. It's pushing to express myself.
那么火星和金星呢是在这个上升的那一面呢，但是它在地平线之下，所以这就是我的事情，我要把我的事情我要去做我的事情。
Okay, I didn't on these ones. It just had the square to Jupiter, but.
那么火星是这个4分木星的，但是
Mars and Venus do oppose the midheaven.
但是火星和金星呢，确实对分了这个天顶。
So there's stress. I can do it, but I'm not doing it for the boss. I'm not doing it for this. I won't do it to fit into the job. I'm going to do it for myself.
那么我可以做这个，但是我并不会为我的老板去做这个，我会做这个事情，但是我并不会去为我的事业去成就我的事业做这个事情。
So she will always.
我要为我自己做事情。
So she will always fight Jupiter, Mars against anyone in authority.
他好像总是想要去和这个任何在权威地位的人去抗争。
I'm in trouble here now because I'm in authority for a minute.
那么，因为我在这儿就已经是危险的了，因为我在这儿就是一个权威的身份。
But she needs to prove where she's coming from. But they don't accept it. That's stupid. They're stupid. I don't need to put up with that. Who needs an idiot boss?
那么他需要去表达自己从哪儿来，就是他自己真正的自己。然而他想表达的这个，可能对他来说呢，觉得就是和这个权威这个社会并不是这么格格相入的。
Or a father who would tell me what to do.
或者是一个老师告诉我该怎么做的父亲或者权威形象，会让我很讨厌。
He'll learn. The father will learn.
那个父亲会学习到。
The Mars isn't going to quit.
那么火星并不会去就是削弱或者是说退缩。
Scorpio will not surrender.
那么他的天蝎座呢，并不会去投降。
I'll do my own thing anyway. So if the boss says you can't take the week off for astrology, he'll take the week off anyways.
他还是按照自己的事情去做，自己的想法去做。比如说，如果他的老板说你不能去请假，这个星期不能请假去上占星课，他还是会去上占星课。
So what would happen if the husband wants your kid to go to one school and you want it to go to another school?
那么当 当你的这个老公想要这个小孩去这个学校上学，而你想要小孩去那个学校上学的时候，会发生什么呢？你该怎么办呢？
There's no question. He won't bother. He's not going to force it.
那么这个是毫无疑问，他没有办法去，就是说，他没有办法去抗争你的。
He would get through this in the first 6 months of knowing you.
那么他在这个跟你相处的第1到6个月，他就应该认识你了。
Just 1/4 of a Mars aspect, he'd run into this. Every 6 months, he'll blow up.
那么，火星的这个相位，就每到6个月，你可能就会发一次火。
Because every 6 months, Mars will square this.
因为每到6个月的火星呢，行进的火星呢，就会有对你的本命盘产生相位，
Like clockwork.
就好像说是设定的时钟一样。
If he knew that, that would be very useful to him.
如果他知道占星学，他知道每到6个月你就会爆发一次的话，对他来说是非常好的一件事情。
But then there are Scorpio secrets.
但是这是你的天蝎座的秘密啊。
So this is it's just playing with his little. But you see, the Mars, it's just getting to Jupiter. So when she gets worked up, it's not going to be small. It's pumped. So when she's passionate, she's very, very passionate.
如果他是非常有激情的时候，他是非常有激情的，因为他的火星是很强的。
But when she's not passionate, she'll be putting the passion into something.
如果他并没有激情的话，他的这个激情的能量呢，会导向某一些，还是会导向某一些事情。
It's kind of a miracle we've had her sitting here all day and not standing up or not. They actually sat here in the heat.
那么对今天来说，他坐在这么闷热的一个教室，而没有发生任何的这个行为，是一件这个神奇的事情。
Okay, I'm just going to go. Jupiter, yeah, okay. So here we've looked at each of the personal planets. They're the ones that really take the energy in from everyone. Like Mars isn't affecting Jupiter so much. Venus isn't affecting Jupiter. Sun isn't affecting Saturn. Saturn's like the fathers in the room who can party. You know, like it's the fathers in the presence. So when we're starting to look at Jupiter and L, you'll see how it throws its influence to the other aspects it makes, but really you usually see it in the house it's in.
那么木星的话呢，你通常呢就是会通过它在的宫位呢去理解它的能量，以及它和内行星发生的一些相位。
So you'll notice if there's outer planet conjunctions, like here, Uranus is conjunct Jupiter just.
如果你看到一个外行星的这个相位的话，比如说这里是木星和天王星的合相。
It's not Jupiter's not conjunct Neptune, but Jupiter's in the 6th house with Uranus, with Neptune. They're all in the 6th house.
那么木星和这个海王星虽然不是合相的，但是木星、海王星和天王星都是在6宫。
Of health, service, work, trying to improve things.
那么在健康的，在那个服务的，在那个想要去改善这个世界的这样的一个宫位。
Now we already know she's always trying to improve things.
我们早知道他想要去就是改善自己，让事情变得完美。
Especially the husband.
特别是老公。
So this natural tendency to improve things, you can fix this. No, walk this way. No, wear this. You're not wearing that out. But it's just going to be a continuous nag.
那么特别是说他想要去改变老公，想让这个老公变得完美，让这个老公变得就是说更加完美。那么他就是好像会不停的去唠叨，这种能量其实我们之前已经看到了。
But the Jupiter is trying to figure out, I got to understand how to fix this. I got to understand how to make this better. It's fitting into the same energy.
那么，但是木星在这里呢，它也是去和这些能量是和谐的，因为它在这里，他会去思考，他会去想说，他会去理解说，我怎么样才可以去改善，怎么样才可以去调整，怎么样才可以去变得更和谐。
A funny twist here is because it's conjunct Uranus, she always takes a different twist. Oh, it's different than that. It's different than normal.
那么，不一样的地方在于是说，那个木星和天王星合相了，所以呢，他的这些想法，他的这些解决方案可能跟常规的都不一样。
So even though she's trying to understand how to fix things, she has her own way.
虽然他想要去调整、去改善这些事情，但是呢，他还是以自己的方式去做的。
And the husband and the father are going to think, You can't do it that way. This is the way it has to be done. It's just, I'm just doing it this way.
那么她的老公和她的那个父亲可能都会想说，哎，你不能这么做，你怎么能这样解决呢？可是对她来说，解决方案就是那个特别的方法。
What would you study astrology for? That's not practical.
你学占星干什么呢？占星并不这个实际啊。
It really is. But she looks for that excitement, that new understanding, that different take on things.
那么你需要看到她这些对新的理解，这些与众不同的知识给她带来的这些兴奋和刺激。
I'm going to improve things, but I'm not going to work the same way my mother worked.
我想要去改善这些环境，我想改善这些调整，但是呢，我并不会按照我母亲的旧的老的方法去做这些事情。
I'm going to do it differently.
我想要去与众不同的去解决方法。
Jupiter and other places with Uranus, it could imply you meet people from other cultures more than from your own.
那么木星和天王星在一起呢，如果是在其他的宫位，可能会代表说你会遇见和你的文化完全不同的、来自不同文化的人。
But it's not necessarily so in this case, because you're kind of fussy, and it's got to be a certain way.
那么，在这个星盘里面不一定是这样，因为你可能对你的品味有自己的独到的这个见解，有自己独到的这个品味。
And the Saturn makes you pretty conservative.
那么土星呢，让你会变得比较相对来说比较保守一点。
Or defensive. So I'm jumping around, but it makes sense now.
或者会有一些这个防御的机制。我虽然说尝试很多，但是我还是会比较保守。
But in trying to improve things, I understand how we can do this. I know how to fix this. I know what we can do. Honey, I know what we can do. We can do this. Then you get going on it. But the Jupiter is it trines the moon. So okay, I see we can do this. We can fix it this way. But the Jupiter squares the Venus and the Mars. So you exaggerate what you want. You don't understand how much effort it's going to take. So there's a puzzle. I got to do this, but you want your husband, you want people to do it with you. But they don't want to always follow your independent understanding.
那么，你的木星和天王星呢，就是会有一个非常特别的这个方法去进行调整，去进行改进，对你的生活各方面进行改进。那么这个也是3分了你的月亮，所以它对你个人生活来说也是比较合适的。然而木星还是4分了那个火星和金星，所以你对你的这个想要的东西会有一些过度的倾向。
So Jupiter is a struggle. The 6th house is the struggle to improve, to fix your health, to be of service, to improve things.
那么六宫呢，就是木星在六宫呢，是想要去改进你的这个健康，调整你的环境等等。
So the Jupiter and Uranus there, you can't work for someone. You can't take it conservative. You're always trying to make it your own way, even if it's costly. You're still going to improve this.
那么，木星和天王星在这里呢，你可能不倾向于会去为一个传统的公司工作，你可能是要以自己的方法、自己的方式进行工作。
See, these are all in the nighttime increasing.
那么这都
Jupiter, Uranus.
木星和这个天王星都是在夜长增长的。
So it means I have my own understanding of how we should do things here.
我有自己独特理解，对于我们需要做什么的事情，我有自己的独特的理解。
Your horoscope says you shouldn't do this.
你的星座告诉你，你不应该做这个事情。
Jupiter is hard to see. The struggles in the 6th house that would come for you is from misunderstanding.
那么木星呢，其实对我们来说，对你来说，这个挑战和困难呢，是你错误的理解。
Why don't they understand? Why can't they see it? Why don't they understand what I'm trying to do?
为什么他们不能理解？为什么别人不能理解我在做的事情呢？
Or what's wrong with this guy? Is he dense?
那个人是干什么呀？那个人他有什么问题吗？他为什么在那儿跳舞？
So this is your puzzle. You're always working on trying to understand it.
这个就是你的这个迷思，你就是在那儿去思考，哎，这些人在干什么？你在那儿理解。
It's useful for astrology, but the challenge is you could know it too fast and go on it, and you're always having to keep improving it.
那么这个能量对于学习占星也是非常好的，但是对你来说挑战就是你需要去花时间，然后呢去学习所有的东西。
So it's not the Venus and the Mars pushing there. It's not the moon pushing to the Jupiter. It's the Jupiter, the understanding and the misunderstanding. Whenever she gets angry, it's going to be misunderstandings.
那么就是 不是月亮影响的木星，也不是火星影响的那个木星，而是木星外行星影响的月亮和火星、金星。每当你有错误的理解或者错误的这些想法的时候，你都会产生内在的愤怒。
The real fortunate thing about this chart is that Uranus is at 7 degrees. It's not squaring, it's out of orb, it's not squaring the Mars and the Venus.
那么这个星盘最幸运的这一点，非常幸运的这一点呢，就是天王星呢它是7度，所以它并不是在这个容许度之内的，它并不是形成了这个四分相和火星和金星形成四分相的相位的。
If it was squaring the Uranus and Venus, you would have many relationships, not a stable marriage, and many jobs, not a stable job. It would keep disrupting and upsetting the Venus and the Mars.
那么如果说你的这个天王星形成相位四分了火星和金星的话呢，你就没有办法，你可能会没有办法拥有稳定的工作，拥有稳定的这个亲密关系，因为它会带来扰乱和打破的能量。
When you get to these outer planets, you're not going to always get a clear view of how that outer planet works. What's my father thinking? What's he doing? What's going on? You don't get glimpses.
那么，当我们去理解外行星的能量的时候呢，我们是没有办法完全非常清楚的去把这外行星的能量给定义出来的，我们只能去窥视一眼它到底会带来什么样的影响。
So usually you'll see a best influence in the house. If you went to look for a job, you're lucky you'll get it. If you find that, some things will open up lucky for you.
那this is the
Jupiter,
in the
the
sixth
sixth
house.
house.
那么木星在6宫的话呢，对你来说，你去选一个工作或者找一个工作呢，对你来说你会有一些比别人幸运的地方。
The trouble is you don't want the job.
但是问题是你不想要那个工作。
Jupiter's first. We're like, I got this up and I don't want it.
那么我有这个工作，但是我不想要它，我不喜欢它。
The husband says, I got a great job. You can come and work with me. Oh no.
那么你的老公说，哎，我有一个非常好的企业，你来为我企业打工吧。哦，我不想要。
This is the Jupiter getting the jobs and attracting things, and the Mars Venus thing. That's not good enough.
那么这就是木星，他在那个工作上有那份幸运，但是金星和火星说，那好像并不是我想要的。
So she could do those jobs for a time, but not for long.
那么他可以为那些职业去做一段时间，打一段时间的工，但是不会做很久的时间的话呢，会让他生病。
But the sickness, when she gets sick, Neptune's in her sixth house too. Nobody's going to know why.
那么当他生病的话呢，因为海王星也在6宫，没有人知道他为什么会生病。
Maybe allergies, mood things, something's happened, something's wrong, I don't know what it is. And you try and find it. If they give you drugs, they're not going to find it. You're probably better off going to an old herbalist.
那么就是好像说，如果你有些情绪压力的话，不开心的话，你可能就会生病，而这个生病呢，就可能会是敏感、过敏，任何的可能性。那么即使你到医院去看病，医生也可能查不出什么问题。对你来说，也许最好你可能去找一些顺势疗法，或者是一些草药。
So with Saturn, you see Saturn in the fifth house.
那么土星，大家可以看到土星在5宫。
So we can go through the signs. We've already done that with the sun and all the other things in that house. So you'd have to do it to really work. I'm going to stop here, but that Saturn has an influence on the sun and the Mercury.
那么水星呢？土星呢？对这个太阳和水星有一个影响。
But not on the Pluto.
但是对那个就是冥王星没有影响。
So the Saturn, this is a series of I need to accomplish something. This is I'm dissatisfied. This isn't what I want. I can't put up with this. And the Scorpio gets mad. And I'm going to have to do this.
那么土星呢，就是那个不满足的、不满意的声音，就是哎呀，我对这个不满意，我还不够完美，我想要去我这个还不够。那么这个声音呢，就会让他的天蝎座能量去产生愤怒，然后愤怒就会让他去产生一些行动。
The moon in Leo likes to get comfortable. I don't want to have to go do this. I want to do this. Is nice. I'm glad to just sit and enjoy it. And Saturn's coming along saying you have to do this.
那么那个月亮在那个狮子座呢，就好像是说我想要舒适的东西，我想要舒适的生活，我想要变得舒服。但是土星来到那儿呢，就跟月亮发生关系的话呢，就会说，那不行，你需要努力的工作。
So none of these affect the Saturn. Saturn affects all of these. So the moon. Saturn affects the moon. It's like the moon is in Leo. I want to stay home with mom and mom enjoy things. Things will be taken care of. And Saturn's saying, Dad's saying, no, you've got to go out and work.
那么好像就是说，你就是那个狮子座的月亮，狮子座月亮就想轻松愉快，但是那个土星那个权威的那个父亲的声音就会跟你说，不行，你要去工作。
See, we're doubling up now because we did the moon, and we saw the moon had the depression from the Saturn.
那么我们刚刚讲过那个月亮的相位的时候，也讲到土星，所以就土星可能会给它带来一些这个压抑的能量。
Now we're looking at the Saturn, and we see we've already done this. We've seen it get over. So really, you look at the Saturn, it's in the 4th house. It's conjunct the Sun and Mercury. You know, it makes you serious.
那么当我们现在来到土星的时候呢，我们看到说土星在和水星和太阳是合相的，然后呢土星和月亮的相位呢，我们之前讲过了，但是土星在这儿呢，它会让你变得比较严肃。
So even though she wants to play Scorpio-like, sexy-like, Scorpio-like in the 5th house, the little girl would not be allowed to with the Saturn there.
那么，即使是你想要去游戏，你想要去玩，即使你是拥有这个这些行星在5宫，在那个天蝎座，但是那个小女孩，因为你有土星在这儿，那个小女孩好像是不被允许去嬉戏和游乐的。
She'd have to get smart enough to realize I got to think away. I got to get a system or plan. If I want this, I'm going to have to do it this way. Can't tell Dad. I can't tell Mom. I'm going to have to do it this way and figure it out.
就好像说，他有一个非常聪明的头脑，于是他会自己去想一套方案或想一个方法。如果我想要获得我想要的东西，我想要获得我想要的这个休闲和娱乐的话，我必须去想一个方法去骗过我的父母，骗过我的这个家长，然后呢，才能得到我想要的东西。
So even though she has the Saturn there in play, she'd be serious. If that's with her father, she would be very serious in controlling with her kid.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Even though her father was restrictive to her, when with her child, she's going to be in control of her kid.
那么因为土星的关系呢，他的父亲对他是有很多约束和限制的，但是即使是这样，他对他的小孩也会有一些控制欲。
Who's probably going to grow up and say, "Mom, I can't do this. I'm going out."
那么他的小孩可能会长大了以后跟他说：“母亲，我不能再跟你住在一起了，我想。”
He's going to say you have to be home at midnight.
他可能会对他小孩说：“你必须在午夜前回家。”
And the little girl will probably come home at 1 or 2, or the boy will come home a little bit later, and Mom will be fuming.
那么，当他的小女孩在那个就半夜1、2点回家的时候呢，他可能会非常的生气。
So the struggle here is how to work hard with your kids, but when they get older, how to let go so that you can still be a friend in the 11th house.
那么这个星盘的挑战呢，就是说，当你有小孩的时候呢，当他们小的时候，你对他们管教比较严肃，但是呢，等他们长大的时候，你如何学会放手，然后跟他们成为11宫那样的朋友。
There's always a challenge between one house to the opposite. So 5th house is your lover, your kid. If you try to make a lover a friend, you lose the lover. If you try to make a friend a lover, you lose the friend.
那么这就好像是说5宫和11宫这个对应的这个对面的这个宫位他们的这个迷思就是，如果你想要把你的这个爱人成为朋友的话，你就失去了你的爱人；如果你让你的朋友成为你爱人的话，你就失去了这个朋友。
So she's more inclined. Her energy is to be the lover, to hold the personal side together, let go of the friends.
那么他的能量更倾向于是说去做一个这样的爱人，去建立他自己个人的生活，而不是说成为朋友。
Unfortunately, she's going to have to work very hard to make her husband let go of his friends.
那么她可能会就是非常努力的去想要让她的丈夫去放弃她的朋友。
So you see the opposite, right? There's the 5th house, opposed to the 11th. That stuff you learn a little bit later. It'll come as you go along with it.
那么我们后面进阶的会学这些东西，就是说5宫的对宫是11宫，它的能量是怎么去互相影响的。
The main point is you see the Saturn in the house.
那么这里呢，我们主要讲的就是土星在这儿的影响。
It's ruled by Saturn, it's ruled by Mars, it's ruled in Scorpio, so there's a need to be disciplined around your energy, but courageous around your discipline.
那么土星的这个所有的星座的守护星呢是火星，火星呢是在天蝎座，所以呢就是说你必须要对你的行为有一些节制，然后呢你必须要对你的这个责任呢负起一些勇气。
Okay, so Uranus, we've almost already talked about it. It's in the 6th house. It's in Sagittarius.
那么天王星呢，我们刚刚已经讲过了，它在这个6宫，它是在这个射手座。
Uranus is 7 years in a sign.
那么这个天王星呢，在一个星座呢是待7年。
You want to see what it really does? Look at the styles and fashions every 7 years, and you'll see this change.
那么如果你看到每隔7年的这一代人的这个打扮的方式呢，他们的这个文化和潮流呢，你就可以看到天王星了。
After shocking Uranus going through Scorpio, shocking sexy stuff, and exposing secrets and exposing things. After the shocking sexy clothes, maybe short lines or whatever, it goes into Sag, and it becomes much more open-ended, much more. There's a different thing of what's shocking, different cultures, different ways.
那么在这个天王星进入这个天蝎座，就是经历那些对于性的那些惊奇，或者是说那时候穿了很多超短裙啊，或者是那些奇装异服，但是都有很有性意味的。然后呢，经历过那个潮流以后呢，天王星又来到了这个射手座，而天王星在射手座呢，又是对于那种各种文化、各种开放、各种可能性的一种潮流。
When you look at the Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, you're looking at sections of time that are whole cultural factors that affect everybody within that 7 years, but you have your slice of it.
那么，当我们去看那些外行星的时候呢，看天王星、海王星和冥王星的时候，比如说我们看到天王星的时候，天王星就代表那个7年的潮流，那个7年它会影响这个7年的所有的这个集体的一些文化和潜意识。但是我们在这个集体中呢，也是代表它这一片这一个面相。
So when Uranus went into Capricorn in North America, it became everyone wanted to do a tattoo or have a body piercing or have something that was physical to be noticeable. It happened that like in 7 years, suddenly all the young women, everybody, they got a tattoo, they got some piercing or something going on.
那么，当这个天王星进入了这个摩羯座的当天王星进入了这个摩羯座的时候呢，就是在南美的那个国家呢，就是很多人就开始在自己身上去画了很多刺青，包括就是打了很多这种洞。那个时候那个时期就成了一股潮流。
So, I'm not going to do this for you, but you can look at Uranus going through these 7 years and see what was going on.
那么我不会再一个个详细讲下去了。那么大家可以通过历史上每一个7年的这个潮流呢，去观察出天王星的这个趋势。
What was exciting? What was shocking?
什么是让人震惊的呢？什么是让人觉得刺激的呢？兴奋的呢？
But she has Uranus in Sagittarius, so it's exposing. This was as the web wasn't even invented here, but the computers were, and they were starting to move towards this.
那么，它的天王星呢是在这个射手座的。那个时候就是网络可能还没有就是这么流行，但是那个时候电脑已经非常流行了。我们正在趋向于这个互联网的时代。
So at the time I had the computer I took different computers for about 5 years, but this was the time when I got the first modem.
那么这是我那个时候是我拿到第一个猫的时候。
Modem 80 they call it. 80 bits per second. 80 bits per second.
那么就是每秒钟是80个 byte。
No software.
没有那个软件。
No cell phones.
没有手机。
You send a message. You hooked up the phone. You went and it just sat there. If it didn't work, you wouldn't know. You wait half an hour. Then after you think it's finished, you call the person. Did you get that? No. Oh, geez, we got to do it again.
那么就是那个时候发信息非常奇怪，就是当你发信息的时候呢，你先要去把这个电话线连好，然后呢，你把这个信息发出去。当这个信息发出去的时候，你并不知道他有没有收到，所以呢，你需要打电话去问对方，哎，你收到这个信息了吗？半个小时过去，他说我还没有收到，你说，哎，天哪！
It was so slow, but no one had ever done it before.
那么它的速度非常慢，但是那个时候没有人做过这些事情。
It was incredible. It wasn't pictures, it was just text.
那么它是非常让人觉得就是非常觉得这不可思议的事情。
Boy, but it was still a long way from what was before. So, yeah.
那么这也是很久之前的事情了。
But this was the beginning when people started to work with the communication to get to Uranus going through Sagittarius, where the web came in, where the interface came in, everyone is suddenly communicating around the world. We're walking across barriers. It's breaching across religious groups. People are starting to find it, especially women, being able to communicate with each other without social restrictions.
那么那个时候呢，就是天王星在这个天王在射手座呢，就好像是说整个世界就有这种趋势联系在一起了，被这种互联网联系在一起了。那么大家跨越各种种族、跨越各种肤色呢，都可以去进行互相沟通和联系了。那么就像女性呢，也是可以互相的去沟通和联系。
This is a remarkable change.
那么这是一个非常非常不可思议的，也是一个非常重要的一个变化。
The kids loved it. The old folks were threatened by it.
那么年轻人就小孩非常喜欢这些变化，但是那些老家伙们对这些变化非常就是嗤之以鼻。
You have Uranus in the 6th house.
你的天王星在6宫，
You can't work for anybody.
你不能为任何人工作打工，
You got to do your own thing.
你必须做自己的事情，自己喜欢的事情。
It's really good to have unique, independent skills.
那么非常重要的是说，你需要去开发自己这个具有这个独立性，自己能够依靠自己的这些能力和技巧。
This is really good for astrology.
那么这是对于占星师非常好的一个配置。
You know, if you wrote a book on astrology and you're doing astrology for the rest of your life.
那么如果你能够写一本关于占星学的书的话，你就能够一辈子做占星师了。
But there's no bosses. There's no bosses. You're doing it at your own time. And who knows? You get good enough. You get the book. You might end up going to conferences in the States, in England, Australia. You never know where you go.
那么当你就是说，你不需要为任何人打工，因为你成了占星师的话，你就是独立工作者，你不需要为别人打工。那么你可以写一些书，然后也可能会被邀请到这个国外去开一些占星的讲座，谁知道呢？
Okay, so we got a little hit of Uranus. You can work it more, but you're looking at these social practices coming into a certain house. It excites it. It doesn't make it stable.
那么，我们可以看到这些外行星呢，它来到了某一个宫位，它让这个宫位变得这个刺激和兴奋。当然，这种刺激和兴奋呢，也会给这个宫位带来这种不稳定的能量。
Any house that Uranus is in, it's not going to be stable. You need excitement. You need to do something different. You're not going to fit into the norm there.
那么天王星在任何一个宫位呢，你都需要这样的兴奋，都需要这样的刺激。你最不需要的就是追随潮流，你需要的就是你最不需要的就是去遵守社会规范。
If it's in your first house, your identity is different. If it's in the second house, what are you going to do with your money and talents? I got to do something different. If it's in the third house, I got to know something different.
那么如果说它在你1宫的话，那么你的身份、你的那个自我的表现就是与众不同的。如果是在2宫的话，你就希望用你的金钱、你的资源，你有你的特殊的天分去做一些特别的事情。你在天王星在3宫的话，那么你就需要说你知道的，你想要去接受一些与众不同的教育。
If it were in the 4th house, you don't want to buy a home. You want to be in an apartment. You want to be able to move. You want to go places. You don't want to be locked in.
那么如果你天王星在4宫的话，你可不想买一个就是房子固定下来，你想要去住在任何的地方，或者是说就是随时可以搬家这样。
If it's in the 5th house, you want an exciting kid, or you may not want a kid, or you might be the single parent.
那么如果是在天王星在5宫的话呢，可能你会想要一个让你觉得非常兴奋的孩子，或者一个天才的孩子，或者是说你根本不想要孩子，也或者是说
So you have it in the 6th, but if it were in the 7th, you're not going to marry anyone conventional.
那么如果天王星在7宫的话呢，你可不会去嫁一个或者娶一个传统的人，传统意义上的人。
If you're going to marry at all.
如果你真的是想要结婚的话，
If it were in the 8th house,
如果天王星在8宫的话，
your joint resources will be unconventional. You won't have a partner that has steady, stable relationship. It'll be exceptional one way or not stable in another way.
那么你们的这个共同的资源的话呢，可能就并不这么稳定，或者并不这么的传统。也许你们在一起某一方面是非传统的，也许你们会去做一些非传统的事情。
If there was a custody battle, when you have Uranus in the 8th house, it would be hard to win it.
Sorry.
If there was a custody battle for 2 kids, who gets the kid? Parents split up, who gets the kid? But if Uranus is in that 8th house, it might be difficult to win.
那么如果说就是离婚的2个人之间呢，去打官司，去争取这个孩子的这个抚养权的话呢， 如果你的天王星在8宫的话，你可能不一定赢得这场战争。
In the 9th house, your philosophy will be unique. It'll be independent.
那么在9宫，天王星在9宫的话呢，那么你的哲学思想和理念将是非常特别的，将是非传统的。
I have it in the 10th house.
如果天王星在10宫的话，
in my whole life, I've only worked 13 months for other people.
那么我的天王星在10宫，那么在我的一生中呢，我只为别人打工做了13个月。
I mean, when I'm doing a consultation, I'm working for you, but for a salary, once I had a 6-month job, I had to pay off a plane trip and pay off for my mother. So 6 months I held the job. That's the longest.
那么，我为别人打工，那当然我一生都是占医师啊，但是我为别人为企业打工的话，只做了6个月。那6个月是我为了挣飞机票去印度的飞机票。
I had a 2-month job once, and all the rest were a month or really to the first paycheck, and then I gone.
那么我其他的工作可能就是做了2个月，或者是说，大多数都做了1个月就不做了。
My earrings, someone says do this.
那么一旦是我的天王星能量是这样的，一旦有人跟我说你做这个，然后我就摇头了。
Not my fault, it was Uranus.
不是我的错，这是天王星的错。
But you find your own way with it. So the other planets are kind of funny statements. They bring in special problems, special gifts, but really with special problems.
那么这些外行星呢，它带来一些蛮有意思的特征，它带来的是一些特殊的天赋，但是它也带来一些特殊的问题。
So you see your Neptune in the 6th house. That's confusing health, maybe allergies, something like this, and then it's what kind of job?
那么，你的这个海王星在6宫，可能你会带来一些让你困惑的疾病或者身体上的一些状况，比如说那个过敏，你可能找不到过敏源，也不知道为什么会发生，你也可能会对工作会产生困惑。
It could be very evasive, but it suggests a job with social conscience, teaching and helping other people.
它可能是比较，就是你可能没有看到啊，但是它也是代表了说，海王星在6宫是一个具有社会意识的工作，也就是说，你要去用你的工作去唤醒这个社会意识。
Neptune is confusion, deception, vision, great schemes, but it's also dedication, sincerity, social work, being helpful, being dedicated.
那么海王星它代表着这种宏大的这个梦想啊、幻灭啊，或者是欺骗啊，但是呢，它也代表说这种真诚、这种投身于某些事业，以及你对这个社会去奉献你的这个力量，以及帮助别人。
So if you're going to write your book, which we were talking about, you might do it, you might not. But if you got dedicated to a cause that you really believed in, and people were dying, and you're making a difference, and this is not fair, and you're working, it's really intense, you would blossom.
那么，我们刚刚讲到说，你可能会去写一本书，那么你可能会去写，也可能不会去写。但是呢，对你来说非常重要的就是你一生要去寻找一个非常重要的志业，也就是说你愿意去投身的一个事业。也许是说你要去拯救，也许是说你要去帮助那些生死悬于一线的人。那么当你这么做的时候呢，当你去为这些社会的这个社会的这个意识做出自己的贡献的时候，投身于这个事业的时候呢，你就会去闪光，你就会盛开。
This will probably come as your kid leaves home.
那么这大概会在你小孩离开家，就是长大离开家的时候，你会成为那样的样子。
Because you're so protective and concerned, you wouldn't go out and put yourself in a dangerous situation where you're helping people and it's difficult because you wouldn't want that to come to your family.
那么，因为在你是那么有保护欲的一个人，所以当你自己有小孩、家庭的时候，你可能不愿意自己把自己置身于那个危险，然后会影响到你的那个家庭。那么，直到你小孩长大以后安全了，你才会去做这个事情。
But at some point, that challenge is there.
但是在人生的某一个阶段，那个挑战会出来。
Usually, to let go of your kid, what am I going to do? There's a sorrow, there's a loss. What am I going to do? Then you have to dedicate someone else.
那么通常呢，就是当你的孩子离开你的时候，你内在会有这样的一个伤感。那么你的伤感会驱动你去想，我应该做什么？我应该做什么
In the meantime, you need to be searching a little bit. What could I be dedicated for? Can I try one day a month helping here? Or can I try one day a month helping there? I'll do a little bit, and maybe you find something. Wow, I really like this.
那么， 但是我建议呢，从现在开始，你就可以去找一个你自己喜欢的职业，也许你可以在这个每个月去花一天或者花一段时间去尝试这个工作那个义工。那么你可能在这个过程中呢，会发现自己真正喜欢的这一个职业。
So you keep it like a hobby or a little thing you do one day a week, one afternoon, and it builds up, and you get friends. It builds up, and when it's your time, you're ready to go.
那么，它并不会花你很多时间，但是呢，可能每个月做一次，或者每个星期一次，它会给你带来很多，就扩展你的这个交际圈，会给你带来一些朋友，那么也会让你做一些充分的准备。当时间到来的时候，你就可以去实现你的这个职业了。
With this chart, if she was born 6 hours later, everything would be setting.
那么，如果这个星盘呢，如果说你出生就是你在你出生的时间6个小时之后出生的话呢，所有的行星呢都是在这个下降的那一面了。
No, 6 hours earlier.
那如果是早6个小时出生的话，都是下降那一面了。
Then her bowl would be all on the setting side.
那么她的这个碗呢，都会在这个另外一边了。
She wouldn't do anything without a partner.
那么她不会做任何事情，除非她有一个合作伙伴。
And the whole complex would work out different specifics in the houses.
那么它的这些能量呢，都会在不同的宫位去演化。
If she was born 6 hours before that, everything would be above the horizon. It would all work around career, friends, status, not about home and kids.
那么，如果他的星盘所有的行星都在这个地平线之上的话呢，那么他的这个能量呢，都会去用作追求这个事业地位，而会去忽略他家庭的这一部分。
If it was in the morning, everything would be rising. This would all be about 100% projection. I'm going to do this to try and find the relationship.
那么，如果他的这个行星都在左半球的话呢，都是代表这个投射的能量，他好像都要去把自己这个能量投射出去，去寻找那个伴侣。
So this is, if you meet someone born on your birthday, buy them a dinner, go talk.
那么，如果你遇到一个就是跟你同一天出生的人呢，就给他们，你要跟他相约去共进晚餐。
I've met 6 people born the same day, same year as me.
我碰到就是6个人跟我出生在同一年、同一月、同一日的这个人。
5 professional astrologers.
5个专业的占星师。
It's the only job. We're also sharp-minded and so critical. It's the only job short of detective where we get paid for insulting people.
那么这是因为我的头脑是非常这个尖锐的，然后我也非常有批评性啊。那么有这样的头脑、这样的能量呢，只有在这个占星师的行业才能用这个能量去赚钱，不会被人这个揍啊。
So you're just starting for the first year or so. Just work it. Just do the charts, do the steps, learn it, make it yours. After you get a couple of years done, you get in, then start going to conferences and seeing what other people are doing.
那么我建议你也去学习占星学。那么刚开始的3年呢，慢慢做，慢慢的开始进入。那么3年以后，也许你就会也许你就可以去开一个讲座了。
This is the best way. At a conference, you get one person doing a 1-hour talk, another person doing another hour talk. You never get the best of them.
那么我觉得就是这样的工作坊呢，是最好的学习的方法，学习的占星的方法。因为如果是那些讲座或者是沙龙的话，如果每一个占星师只是讲1-2个小时的话，你永远不会去体会到这个人的精华是什么，学习到这个人的精华。
But at conferences, you meet everybody else who's studying astrology. You meet great friends.
那么在那个就是占星沙龙的话，可能或者嘉年华的话呢，你会遇到所有学习占星学的人，那么你会遇到很多自己的朋友。
Okay, last planet is Pluto.
那么最后一个行星呢是冥王星。
Pluto's is still in the 5th house.
那么冥王星呢是在5宫。
So there's half a fear of being creative.
那么它有一半的这个恐惧呢，内在的恐惧呢，是如果他是一个非常有创意的人，他表达自己的创造力的话，他会恐惧害怕。
I can't do this. Oh no, I'll never do this. I can't do this. I better just stay here.
我不能做这个，我不能做那个，我最好还是停留在原地吧。
So, one of my wives used to say, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And she said, if I made a criticism, I said, what do you think? She said, I give my opinion. She says, oh, now that you said that, I'll never do it. I'll never be able to do it now that you said this. And I said to her, that was easy. She didn't talk to me for a week.
那么我有个前妻，他就跟我说，哎呀，我不能做这个，我不能做那个，我这个不行，那个不行。然后我就跟他说，我就跟他说，就是说，我就批评他，然后他就说，然后我就跟他说了一句话，我说然后他就说，哎呀，这么难的我怎么能做呢？你告诉我，就是说，只是我的缺点，我就不能做了。然后我就跟他说，这个很简单啊。然后他就1个星期不跟我说话了。
How come you can't live or respect someone's fears?
你不能去尊重，或者是你不能去尊重他的这个恐惧，或者是你没有办法去跟另一个人的恐惧生活。
Doesn't deserve respect.
因为恐惧它不值得尊重。
So she has a fear or block about writing.
This part, right?
Yeah.
那么他有一个恐惧，他对于写作有一个恐惧。
So until she gets over that block, I'll just watch my kids, I'll just do this, I'll just do that, I'll just live in like this. But sooner or later, she has to say what she has to say. She's going to be driven to it.
那么，他必须要去克服他的这个障碍哈，就是说他前进的这个道路上有一个障碍，也就是他的这个恐惧。但是，他的这个内在的驱力去做这个的驱力还是存在的。
And if you don't, that fear will mess up your love life and your relationship with your kids because you're afraid of doing everything and you're setting a fearful example.
那么，如果你不去处理好自己的这个恐惧的话呢，你会把你所有的这个亲密关系都搞得非常糟糕，因为也会让你的小孩非常糟糕，因为你会把你的恐惧作为一个非常坏的例子，让你的孩子和这个你的爱人感受到。
And your kids would say, "No, Mom's just afraid. This is crazy. I'm not putting up for this. Let me out of here."
那么你的孩子就会想说，哎呀，这个太恐怖了，我母亲都不敢做，我也不敢去做这些事情，太可怕了。
So some of your control, so seeing things happen, you have to control. I'm going to control the lover. I'm going to do everything. This is going to be control. It's that. So your instinct to control is almost too strong when you try and control someone else.
那么，你的那个想要去控制所有事情发生的这样的一个欲念呢，是比较强烈的。
But if you could let go of control and just be busy working on what you had to do, you would accomplish great things.
但是如果你放下你的这个控制呢，而只是说忙于去做你该做的事情呢，你会成就非常伟大的自己。
Again, fortunately, Pluto doesn't hit the moon. Pluto hits the sun and the Mercury. It's a conjunction. It's forcing. I got to write. I got to do something. I'm mad. I have to talk. Otherwise, you'll be bossing and yelling at everybody, or afraid of saying what you would say to anybody around. It's like there's not. When you see it, and you think, "What's true?" This is Pluto. What's true? Is it really true? Then you have no choice. Once you see it, I got to start writing.
那么，对你来说非常重要的就是说，冥王星是合向了水星和太阳的，所以呢，它也会带来一个真实的这个力量，也就是说，它会让你看到真实的这一面。当你真的看到真实的这一面的时候，当你看到真实的自己的时候，你还能去逃避吗？
So if you're not writing yet, start a blog.
如果你还没有开始写作的话，请开始写一个微博或者写一个博客。
And just start.
只要开始就行了。
So this is how I would like. Let's think what time this is. One last thing we need to look at. You got the 4 angles.
那么还有最后一点我们需要去看，那就是4轴。
These are not planets. They're sensitive points.
它们并不是行星，它们就是星盘中的那个敏感点。
Most astrology is done for status, the midheaven.
那么大多数占星师会说，天顶就是 MC， 就是你的地位。
It was done for emperors and kings and rich people to see how high they could maintain their empire or how far they can go. What job can you get?
那么就好像是说为那些就是帝王啊那些贵族服务，去告诉他们说你能够爬多高，你能够在这个位上待多久。
So in that business or status world, this has been almost the standard for astrology for many, many years.
那么在那个领域呢，好像在占星学里面，这个天顶就代表的那个含义，它非常久的时间都代表这个含义。
However, for me, the IC is the most important sensitive point out of the houses.
那么，但是对我来说呢，就是 IC，IC 反而是在星盘中，我认为是最重要的一个点。
It's the midnight point. It's the beginning of the day. It's where you're coming from, not where you get to.
那 么那个点是，就是那个点是午夜的最黑的时候，那个是一天最开始的时刻，那个是你从哪里来，而不是说你要走向什么地方。
So there's an interesting thing happens in this chart.
那么这个星图上呢，有一个非常有意思的事情。
If there's a difficult aspect to the midheaven, there'll be a difficult aspect to the IC.
那么，如果你跟某个行星或者某一个点，它跟这个天顶有一个困难相位的话呢，那么它也跟天底有一个困难相位。
If there's a difficult aspect to the ascendant, there'll be a difficult aspect to the descendant.
那么如果跟上升点有一个挑战相位的话呢，跟下降点也会有个挑战相位。
So where you're coming from and your status, they both get attached.
那么，对，那么这个时候呢，就好像说你从哪儿来，然后你的地位是什么，同时会被激发了。
Your image and your relationship are both attached.
那么你的自我形象和你的这个关系呢，同时被激发了。
Oh, oops, sorry. How do you back up? There. So, with her chart from her ascendant, there's a sextile to Mars and Venus.
那么上升点的话呢，就是跟金星和火星呢是6分相，那边那个2个浅色的是135度，是一个小相位。
They're still stressful, but the main two, Venus and Mars, oppose the midheaven.
那么他们的是小相位，可以稍微忽略一下，但是最主要的就是火星和金星，他们对向了天顶。
I don't want to work at this. I'm not making enough money. I don't want that job. Then the Mars is saying, I can't stand it another day.
那么金星就可能会说，我不要那个工作，我不想要那个工作。火星就会说，我不能再忍受多一天了。
So as soon as anyone starts telling her what to do, she gets mad.
一旦有人告诉他该做什么的话呢，他就开始他就会就是发疯。
So at work, this is an attitude problem.
那么在工作的话呢，在工作场合的话呢，这就是一个态度的问题。
If she's going to be the authority with her kids, she's going to do it strongly.
如果他是一个就是对教养孩子的权威的话，他会用非常强硬的方式对待孩子。
And they'll fight her.
那么这些小孩会反抗他。
So not this is two, but there's an outer planet, Neptune.
那么还有一个就是外行星，就是海王星。
That squares midheaven.
那么4分了天顶。
And of course, these will square or conjunct the IC too, but it squares in midheaven.
那么它当然也会，就是说这些行星也会就合向天底，或者是说海王星也会4分向天底。
This means there's not going to be an authority figure that's ever going to think in her best interest.
那么这也就意味着说，没有任何的这个权威的形象，权威的这些人，他会为他最大的利益去做考量。
There's a lot of deception and confusion around work. Who's doing what? Where it fits in? Why do it? Why bother?
那么就好像说，对于工作，对于权威有很多困惑，就是为什么要做这个？为什么要这么辛苦去做上班？或者说，对于好像工作中有一些欺骗，有一些他看不清的这种状况。
So even with the motivation, the Neptune's going to square this. She's going to say, why bother?
那么，海王星呢也4分了天底，他就会说，为什么要这个那么麻烦呢？
Or she could marry someone that drinks a lot or isn't ambitious or whatever. Like, she's got pretty good judgment, so it's not like it would probably be that. But there's some confusion around work, authority, who's doing what. There's a confusion there.
那么，他可能就是有一些就是说海王星4分了天底的话，会嫁给一些流浪汉啊，或者是酒鬼啊。但是因为他有非常强的这些分辨能力，所以他不会做这个事情。但是海王星4分了这个天顶呢，也会说带来这样的能量，就是他对权威、对工作始终会有一些困惑，看不清。
This is not a planet; it's a sensitive point.
这不是行星，但是这是一个这个敏感点。
But she could decide. Well, we need money. We got the kids. We need the money. I better just take the secretary job and go do it.
那么也可能他会说，哎呀，我们现在有个家，有个小孩，我们需要钱，那么我还是去勉强的去做这个行政的工作吧。
If I do that, I'll have to give up my writing. I won't do anything. I'll be bored. I'll just do it. So there's a tendency to compromise or not believe in yourself for what you're supposed to do.
那么他也可能会说，那我为了照顾家庭，为了小孩，我还是去就是做那个工作吧，我还是放弃写作吧。那么这里有一个倾向，也就是说，他可能去放弃自己真正的天赋、真正的才华，会去妥协，会去牺牲。
So to go out and get a job, there's almost a phobia about it.
那么
phobia, an obsession. I can't do it. I don't fit in. Why should I do it? I'm going to avoid being in the job.
那么就好像是说这个工作就对他来说有一种那种很就是好像那种他不想去干那种感觉。
This would make it very easy to say, I'll marry you, I'll stay home, have the kids, you take care of everything.
那么这会有一种非常强的倾向，就会他好像就会说，我还不如就结婚吧，结婚生子，这样子的话我就可以逃避这些了。
Even then, he would never have enough to pay for her dream.
那么即使那样的话呢，他的另一半还是不会有足够的金钱去为他的梦想买单的。
So, if it turns the other way, the Neptune, where do we want to live? What are we doing here? Where are we going? I don't believe anything. Fortunately, the Neptune is just out of orbit, doesn't hit the Venus and Mars.
那么海王星呢，也同样的是四分了这个下降点。那么他也会对自己从哪儿来，他的这个渊源，他的家庭，他过往的家庭，那么他将生活在哪里产生困惑？为什么我们会在这儿呢？但是幸运的是，海王星和金星和火星并没有四分，他们是容许度是过大的。
If it hit the Venus and Mars, she would have many, many relationships, different people, different ways, very confusing.
那么，如果它的海王星跟金星和火星是四分相的话呢，它就会有非常非常多的关系。那么也跟不同的人、不同的这个情况下拥有非常多的这个亲密关系。那这些关系呢，都会让他自己觉得非常的困惑。
So you just avoided that. There's sort of does the Uranus and the Neptune. It doesn't hit your personal things so much, but it still hits the home, which means there was a lot of expectations for how you should be. And you should have been the girl, the guy, or you should do this, or you should do that, and you're not doing it. You don't fit into what they expect.
那么，海王星呢，它没有，就你非常幸运的是，海王星跟天王星呢没有和个人行星发生相位，但是呢，海王星它还是跟天底是有四分相的。那么对于这个来说，它还是会影响你的家的。也就是说，你的父亲、你的母亲、你的家人会对你，或者是你家身边亲近的人会对你有很多期待。你应该做这个，你应该做那个。也许是说你没有活出他们的期待，你没有成为他们想象的那个样子。
Now, if you turn the Neptune from confusion, evasion, escaping, deception, and it becomes social conscious, something you believe you have to fight, some injustice you have to fight. This Venus, this Neptune becomes a real dedication against injustice.
那么，如果你把海王星的那些虚无、那些欺骗、那些困惑、那些幻灭，去转化成一些社会意识的话，去转化成去追寻，去把自己奉献或投身于自己相信的那个事业的话，去为这个社会和世界的不公平去进行抗争的话，那将是非常美妙的。
So before you can fix, if you want to fight against injustice and get social conscience, before you're going to do that, you have to run into injustice.
如果你要去为不公平的这个事情，为社会上发生的这些不公平进行抗争的话，那么你要从事这个职业之前，你的人生也许必须要经历过那些不公平的经历。
So if she decides to start teaching at school, or she runs her kids in school, she runs across some kids, say someone comes from a farm and manages to get the money to get in the city and go to school.
那么想象一下，如果他是一个老师，那么有一个乡村来的小孩，他终于存够了钱来这儿上学了。
This is a big change, a really fortunate thing.
那么这是一个非常大的变化，是一个非常幸运的事情。
But most likely that little girl or boy is going to be very prejudiced. Prejudiced. Put down, not allowed to do this, you're not part of the team, you're from the outside, and not be given a fair chance.
那么那个小孩他是非常幸运的，然而他可能在这个城市，在这个班级里面，学校里面也可能得到非常不公平的待遇，或者是嘲笑。
If she saw that and it happened to someone she cared for, she would fight forever.
如果他碰到了这个小孩，如果这个小孩是他在意的，他会为这个小孩奋斗一生的。
She might even decide, I'll go teach out in the country.
也许他会说，也许他会决定说，我要到这个贫困的地区去支教。
So what a challenge that would be to a princess who likes her comforts and likes everything to be perfect.
那么对于那一个就是像女王一样，或者是公主一样，让希望所有的事情都是这么舒适的、这么完美的一个人，这个是一个多大的挑战呀！
It won't happen until she sees or runs into that sorrow or injustice.
那么这个并不会，直到他自己去面对这个不公平，遇到了不公平，并且在这些遭遇中经历了这些悲伤，他不会去真正去做这些事情。
It's not an exact destiny, but it's floating there.
那么这并不是一个就是说一定的这个命运，但是这个命运好像就是漂浮在他的这个海洋中。
So if in your transit something comes up and suddenly everybody gets shocked, everybody gets lost, there's an accident, the kids go or something, if ever anything like that happened, where am I? You have another destiny.
那么，就好像说，在那个行运的时候，我们会经历很多危机的时刻，在那些时刻，好像生命中完全发生了变化。那么这个时刻，你会去问自己，我的命运是什么呢？
It's not something you would wish on somebody. It's not something you would encourage a kid to do.
那么你的命运并不是说你要去鼓励这个小孩做这个事情，
It's something you grow into,
而是他自然的生长成为的样子。
and you can't let it go by.
你不能让他与你失之交臂。
I saw, so this is basically my lecture. Just one last story. I got sent a video from China a few years ago.
You got a video
From China.
那么几年前呢，就是我拿到了一个这个关于中国的这个视频。
It was all Chinese. I couldn't read it.
那么都是中文字，我不能去阅读。
They had 20 or 30 people dancing,
那么有20-30个人在跳舞，
and they were all lining up. It was dancing like Tai Chi, but they were all lining up, and they were making the goddess Kuan Yin with all different hands.
那么他们都是在那个跳那个千手观音的那个。
Moving every which way. And you watch it for 20 minutes. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then you find out all these dancers were deaf.
那么我觉得，哎呀，这个太美了，这个舞蹈太美了。但是后来我发现，那些所有跳舞的人原来是聋哑人。